talkSPORT update with NordVPN, our fastest, most advanced VPN for digital privacy and security.
Good afternoon, I'm Toby Gillis. With Chelsea's 5 p.m. deadline for any offers on Enzo Fernandez, will Manchester City look to reunite him with his former boss, Enzo Maresca?
Not today, to be honest. I don't think we're going to do something today.
Well, we will keep you up to date throughout the day on any developments on that one. Elsewhere, we understand Arsenal are considering a move for Jarell Quansah. The Premier League champions had a bid rejected for his England teammate Ezri Konsa. We're told that was for £35 million, an offer which shocked Gabby Agbonlahor and Sam Matterface.
He's the minimum 75 million.
Absolutely. Listen,
35 is like an insult.
I think he was England's best defender at the World Cup. I think his first name on the team sheet at Aston Villa. I mean, if I was Aston Villa, you're not selling him for anything less than 80 million.
I'd let his contract run down to 2 years.
We're told Tottenham have agreed a fee of £30 million to sell Jed Spence to Inter Milan. The right-back is in Italy for a medical. And Rangers manager Derek McInnes says they deserved to go out of Europa League qualifying last night. And after their 3-2 aggregate defeat to Polish side Jagiellonia at Ibrox, the 1-1 second leg draw means they drop into the Conference League playoffs amid mounting unrest. McInnes is yet to win a match since taking over in the summer.
talkSPORT News.
Confusion reigns over Nigel Farage's by-election win as police insist they did not tell him to stay away from the count, and dozens treated in the West Midlands after wildfires.
talkSPORT weather with Quick Fit. Sort your new tyres this summer at a time that suits you best from the comfort of your home or work 7 days a week with our mobile tyre fitting service. Conditions apply.
The southeast's heat will increasingly reach Wales and western and northern England. Some cloud in these areas too, with possible flash thunderstorms. Fresher in Northern Ireland and Scotland.
This is Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs with you through until 4 here on talkSPORT. Where this afternoon, please tell us, Andy, what's coming up?
Well, coming up over the next 3 hours, we'll try to get to the bottom of what's going wrong at Rangers. Hull City assistant manager Dean Holden tells us how their Premier League prep is going. And we'll chat to the Texas couple who fell so in love with Welcome to Wrexham. They're moving there.
Moving to Wrexham from Texas, that's right. We'll also talk F1 and stag doos with David Coulthard. And we'll salute the quickest man in the world over a mile with a baby on board.
There's all this plus the clips of the week. Dean Ashton previews our massive weekend of EFL action.
Yes.
And Sox fans free Pope hats that sounds a bit odd, in the return of Todd Macklin's American Sports Roundup.
Yeah, White Sox fans, they had special Pope night.
Free the hats.
As their fan, he's a fan of the White Sox, Chicago White Sox. They all got given like pontiff-like mitre type hats, which is an interesting look.
Lovely.
You're not going to get a lot of wear out of it after the game, are you? You're wandering around Chicago in it, I wouldn't think. But anyway, it's one of the stories that Todd brings us a little bit later on. But it is 5 minutes past 1. Good afternoon, everyone. And good afternoon, Andy.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon.
Bad news for you today. I do commiserate. Benoit Badiashile has gone on loan to Napoli.
Yes.
How are you coping, Andy?
Well, farewell.
Is there a helpline open for Chelsea fans to deal with it?
It's a shame, actually. I was looking forward to his testimonial. It's really a pity, isn't it?
You weren't a fan, were you?
No. God. But they do like...
I wondered if you'd be driving into Napoli today.
Yeah, they do like furniture in Italy.
Yes.
They'll enjoy a nice big wardrobe.
Really?
You know. Well, I don't know. I mean, he had his... I'll tell you the thing about him is he was basically not very good.
Right.
But any time he hit a bit of form, he got injured. So I did feel for him a bit. So there were games where you thought, oh, he's not as bad as you think. And then he'd get injured.
Well, that's not really his fault.
That's not his fault, no. The Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh...
Are they coming in?
No, they're not.
Oh, that's a shame.
I read this. They attended the European Athletics Championships at Alexander Stadium.
How much did they pay for a pork roll?
They're the only people who can afford the tickets.
Imagine that. I'd like to see the Duchess of Edinburgh saying £15.60 for a pork roll.
18 quid was this. Absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, nuts.
And
I don't know how nuts were. They were probably even more expensive.
There were a lack of toilets at the championships yesterday.
Really? Well, that would be the stadium. What was wrong?
Toilets were taped off after a plumbing issue.
And no one likes a plumbing issue, do they?
People, so it wasn't that much of a problem. Actually, it was better attended yesterday.
No, of course. These next couple of days apparently are sellouts.
I've really enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it.
It's been good, isn't it? Yeah, I enjoyed it last night.
I enjoyed the discus. That was my event, the discus. I used to do about 30 metres.
You don't look like a discus thrower. Because I remember at school, our teacher, one of our teachers at school was an ex-Olympian.
Yes.
For Poland's javelin thrower. Yeah, he was featured in the Olympics. And so he was into the field sports. And he would talk about technique. He'd look at sort of boys and girls and say, "You're a discus thrower," and they think, "Well, I don't feel like one." Oh, right. But he was just good at spotting stuff.
Well,
like
he might have thought I was a natural.
Yeah,
I only did about 30
as long as you
metres.
kept your tracksuit bottoms, not round your ankles, you would have been fine.
The bloke who won it did 72.51, which is impressive, actually. And
you wouldn't have featured on the leaderboard then, by the
I was thinking of the field events. Why don't they just add up like an aggregate of the 6 throws or the 6 jumps rather than the best jump wins it?
Yeah.
That'd be more fair.
Isn't it all about, in that sort of sport, about just peaking at the right moment and just getting it right?
Maybe.
And those 5 that you do before are building up to your big one, aren't they? It's just you. I guess I know what you mean.
Yeah. I enjoyed the 1,500 metres in the decathlon. It's always there's always that thing where you've got to beat somebody by a certain amount of seconds to get the thing. I remember Daley Thompson just strolling around, and I looked it up. It's the reason why he did that is he was always so far ahead. He never had to really do it, take it seriously.
We're watching KJT at the moment, isn't she? She's doing what's she doing?
Heptathlon high jump.
Yeah, that's right. So I don't know if she's getting on. We'll keep an eye on that.
I do like Amy Hunt. What a brilliant.
It's brilliant. That was a really good race, wasn't it? Yeah. It's fantastic. Good for Ireland as well to get the bronze.
Yes.
Yeah.
I sort of thought you were talking about Mark English in the 800.
Oh, sorry. I know.
Brilliant.
Yeah, that was excellent as well. Good night, our old mate Danny Kelly. I saw patting him on the back on social media.
He loves athletics. But the thing is, it's an odd thing that I looked him up, Mark English, because he was born and bred in Ireland and everything. It's an odd name to have for somebody from Ireland. Can't be the most popular name, can it? Really?
Well, it depends where you live, I guess. I don't know. Yeah.
County Donegal, I looked it up.
Oh, nice. Okay. Nice part of the I've been there. Nice part of the world. Yeah.
As predicted, Jake Humphrey, the TV presenter, posted his usual message to the fans.
Don't worry if you didn't get good results.
Yes, he did it again. Of course he did. Yeah. It makes no difference, does it really?
Like the story today that the Sun tells West Ham bosses have banned much mocked half and half scarves. And I think, what a fantastic fan-led thing for the Hammers to do. They say West Ham would like to remind supporters that half and half scarves and any items displaying the colours or crest of both clubs permanently banned from inside. Supporters arriving with half and half scarves purchased from unofficial sellers will be required to hand them over to the security staff. I do sympathise because what happens is we get a lot of tourists at Tottenham, obviously, the size of the stadium. So they buy a half and half scarf. They're not really invested in either team.
No, it's a record
and they tie it around their neck.
Yeah.
And so, say we're playing the Goons or we're playing Manchester United or something, they then have the red bit hanging down.
Yeah.
So it can cause problems, they're wandering around the home section of the stadium with what looks like an opposition.
Real fans hate those things.
But then I
never understand the economics of it because they're all like a one-off. You can't. They're not sold on the day. That's it.
No, I've got a mate who I played football with, who has got a pitch outside Spurs, and it's always a risk. He'll do much better business after the game if Tottenham have won than if they've lost.
Really?
Of course, because people want to come out and I need a new scarf. I'll get that for the next time. But the half and half scarf, you have to pitch that right, And I think with experience, the amount of tourists that turn up at certain. I mean, I don't know how tourist heavy. Cov will be, for example. No disrespect to Cov, but you probably sell more half and half scarves at the Manchester United or Chelsea or Arsenal game, I guess. But the bottom line of this is that Fans wishing to purchase a scarf for the game are encouraged to visit the official West Ham United Stadium store. So the kind of point of it is, don't buy from people outside, buy from us and put the money, which is fair enough, I guess.
I very much enjoyed the Villa PSG game. Villa played well. They played some really nice football. And PSG, this time of the year, it's always a good time to play them, let's be honest. They tend to play better at the end of the season.
We should have beaten them last year in the Super Cup. And look at the season we had afterwards.
Their players playing, they're all playing the World Cup and everything, apart from Kvaratskhelia, which is not great for anybody else because he's really refreshed.
What a goal that was.
He's amazing.
Great finish, wasn't it? Yeah.
Brian Maggio was tremendous. Really, very enjoyable to watch, and he could have had 3 before he scored. But the headline today in The Sun, could Teen Villain become England hero like Kane? Well,
no.
He might, but it's a bit pre.
Our own SV Collymore yesterday, we got Stan on to talk about it, and he made a good point. There are not lots. A few people took him a task on saying, why is Dowman not getting fast track? The point he was making is there are a lot of good midfield players in this country.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of good players in those, and that allows us to bring Dowman on slowly. He's undoubtedly going to be an England regular.
Oh, yeah, he's great.
But with someone like Maggio, there are not a lot of number 9s. No. And he was making the point that if you get him into the fold early and get working with him, it's not a bad idea.
He really looks great. Yeah. It's very, it's very early in his career.
Exactly. This way. So, what's coming up today? A busy show as always. We will be chatting to Dean Ashton to kick things off. The EFL is back. The Championship returns tonight. Wolves v Blackburn. Adrian Durham, your host, Jim Proudfoot. And Dean Ashton will be joining us for a chat, a man who experienced, of course, that division, a former Norwich and West Ham striker. Will be chatting to Dean. David Coulthard joins us. We'll be having a chat with him. With Formula One on a bit of a break till next week, having their summer break. Formula E in the spotlight, and they've got the race at the Excel Centre, which we've spoken to him about before, which is kind of half indoor, half outdoor. So a bit of a shop window for Formula E, which is getting towards the end of the season and doing rather well. But we will have a bit of an F1 chat. And he got married since we last spoke to him.
Yes, so, quite a lively
stag do. Maybe he'll want to bring us some of the highlights, or not, as the case may be. Anyway, we'll be chatting to Ben Jacobs on the subject of big transfers. Dean Holden, friend of the show, the whole City assistant head coach, will join us as well. See how they're gearing up for the start of the Premier League next week. They've got Manchester United, of course. I saw Harry Maguire saying how excited he is to see Hull back, a former Hull player. And it's Dean's team. He's a huge United fan.
And a great story on how he got the job.
Yes, I read a little bit of background to how Dean, Djukirovic, the manager at Hull, was at first encountered Dean on the touchline in Turkey. More on that later. What's going wrong at Rangers, or what's going wrong at Rangers? We're going to have a chat with Stuart Weir, who's kept a close eye on this. He called in a little social media post last night's performance in Europe cowardly. He'll tell us why. Ooh. He also seems to point to the fact that the issues that Derek McInnes is having, it's not the first time a manager has had this at the club. It's not all down to him. It's a problem that's been there for a while. He'll explain all later on. We'll have some clips of the week. We're going to chat to the couple who are moving from Texas to Wrexham, having loved Welcome to Wrexham so much, but they've built kind of a community there and friends, and it's taken on a life of its own. It's a beautiful story, actually. We'll be chatting to them a little bit later on. Nice. And Tom Macklin's back, and the big story of the week was the LA Lakers being sold for the second time in 2 years. So we'll look at some of that and some of the weird and wonderful stories in the world of American sport. So that's all to come. To get in touch this afternoon on anything at all. talksport.com/H&J. Text to 81089, tweet to TSH&J. We'll kick off with Dean Ashton, looking ahead to the start of the EFL on talkSPORT this evening. We're here with Tool Station. First stop, Tool Station.
What, 1 Europa for one Prem?
Two. Obviously.
You're swapping 2, Jay. You are.
Don't know.
Jay, you are.
Maybe 2. Don't know, though. Like, them nights, as a final. You know, you've been in cup finals. Them nights, you never give them up.
I've been 2. And do you know what? I don't want to bring it up, yeah? You cost me one of them.
What do you mean I cost you one of them?
You missed the pen. So
Hold on. Wait, hold on. I didn't see you taking one.
I said to Harry, I'll take one.
No.
5.
No. Let's have this out. Don't be blaming me for your Carabao Cup loss, all right? Because I took the first pen and Darren Bent was nowhere to be seen.
And I'm going to tell you the exact truth of what happened. At the time, I was a penalty taker. I said to Harry, I'll take 1. He said, no, you take 5. I went,
no, Robbie Keane took 5.
No, I was supposed to take 5.
Right.
And he said, you took 1. So it never got to me. I never got to take 1.
Yeah, but the 5th penalty on that night was Robbie Keane.
No, it's me.
Nah, you're lying.
Ask Keano. I don't know if you can remember, but...
Nah, you're lying.
I was 5.
You're lying.
I was the penalty taker at the time. So
why don't you take 1?
Because I said to Harry, he said, no, 5.
Nah, I disagree, mate. I think you bottled it.
Hey, listen. Hey, have you seen the pen, Bill?
I did not cost you a Carabao Cup.
You did, mate.
Where were you in the 90 mins?
That could have been 2, mate. That could have been 2 for me. That, but no. Cheers, Jake.
That still haunts me, that does.
Does it?
Yeah, it hurts my feelings. I think about it a lot.
Ben Foss had the game of his life, mate.
Yeah.
He won man of the match that game as well.
Mate, it hurts. That game's on as well all the time. They play that game a lot. It's such a bad game.
Do you know what, right? I don't really like giving you credit, but I felt for you in the first one because you were playing well in that period.
Oh, I know.
And he left you out completely.
Yeah,
I felt for you in that.
Yeah, that hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
This championship season is extraordinary on talkSPORT.
Plays it for Zian Fleming, played back. Fleming takes a shot. Oh, that's a beauty from Zian Fleming.
He feeds it into Armstrong, edge of the air, right footed, finishes it off beautifully, and Armstrong gets Wolves back in the game.
What a league the championship is, exclusively to national radio on talkSPORT.
Yes, it's back tonight at Molineux for Wolverhampton Wanderers versus Blackburn Rovers, 2 great names of English football.
3rd most watched league in Europe.
Yes, I saw that. Yeah, it's it's a tough league, isn't it? That's why we so often see teams go down and have that period of adjustment when they're not used to it, because it is pretty relentless. Joining us now, man who's experienced that, the former Norwich and West Ham striker, Dean Ashton. Hi, Dean.
Hi, fellas. How are you?
Yeah, we're not so bad. You're going to be there tonight for this one. You're looking forward to it. I mean, it only feels about 5 minutes since the World Cup, but it's good to have football back, isn't it?
Yeah, isn't it, Justin? It's the customary 30-plus degrees for the opening day of any season. So it's as it should be. And look, I'm so excited. As always, the EFL is packed with action and stories, and we want to see how those relegated teams get on, and the promoted teams, and those teams that, despite having season after season of disappointment, they still have the hopes of a playoff push, especially with the changes with that.
And you'll be watching one of the teams in Wolves who are favourites to go up automatically, to bounce straight back.
Yeah, I think there's a reason why their squad is absolutely stacked with quality. I think those early signings as well of Trippier and Jimenez in particular, I think, make a huge statement both for the supporters, but also for any other players that they may be looking to bring in that might look at that and go, yeah, I want to be a part of that. So there should be some excitement, I think, with just how many great players they have. Of course, there's questions of the new manager, but Wolves have done this before.
Yeah, it was quite a strange move getting rid of Rob Edwards. Blackburn, Tony Mowbray's back. He's been making all the news with his love of chocolate.
Tony Mowbray's top 5 chocolate bars has gone viral. I love the way he takes it so seriously. I don't think I've had a chance to watch it yet, Dean, but he's speaking about it like he's talking tactics before a big game.
Players.
Yeah.
No, someone else messaged me about this. I haven't quite seen it yet, but as he should do, you know, as we all love our chocolate. But I think, look, he's going to be a fan's favourite. I think he's a favourite of a lot of clubs and a lot of supporters, the way he conducts himself and what he's been through. But ultimately, he's got a real test on his hands because of how poor they were last season. They haven't really gone out and recruited particularly well. There's not been a big change in their squad. So you sort of think, well, where's the change going to come from? Is it simply him? You know, he didn't have a great time back at West Brom last time out. So I think despite, everyone wishing him well, I think it's going to be a tough season for them.
Now, interestingly, the Opta supercomputer makes Southampton second favourites to both win the title and get promoted automatically after West Ham. Now, we don't quite know what's going to happen with Tonda Eckert. It could be sort of middle of September, they're saying, before they know the outcome of any FA disciplinary move for the Spygate thing. Then there'll be an appeal. It could drag, I don't know, it depends how long it drags on, but if it gets concluded, say, I don't know, in November, and it's a long ban, then there's a decision for the owners of Southampton to make, and it could kind of derail them. So we don't quite know what the situation is with them, do we?
No, and I don't think they probably understand until we really kick off just what they're going to experience every time they travel away. The sort of amount of grief they're going to get from every single set of supporters. It's either going to galvanise them as, I think, what I would class as a nice football club. That's no disrespect, but I think this might bring a little edge to them. Or it'll go the other way. I think that's what we've really got to look out for, is how it's going to affect the players, whether they can keep it in-house and really have that siege mentality, or is it going to be too much for them?
I think the extra playoff place is an interesting thing. Excuse me. In that championship, there's often a team that finishes strong, like Norwich, finishing late and coming on strong.
Yeah.
They might finish in that 8th position. And
and just have a bit of... That's true, having a little bit of momentum going into that.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, I think, you know, that team, as always, that finishes maybe 3rd or 4th with a big points tally, and then a team that's had an average season and gets in there at the last minute. And then you just know this first season, that team that finishes 8th is going to win it. You already know it. But I think, look, as a neutral, we love the playoffs. I don't see why an extra couple of games isn't going to be beneficial for supporters. It's going to put everyone through the mill, of course it is, but I just think it opens it up a little bit longer for teams that maybe take a while to get going to have a real chance, or an unexpected team that have come up maybe from League One to get in there.
Yeah, I mean, you're trying to think of the teams that have come up that are most likely to have an impact. We spoke to the management team at Lincoln the other day. They've made a few interesting signings. They've got Mason Mealia in from Spurs, who a lot of clubs wanted. So be interesting to see how they do. I mean, you would expect it, you know, it's going to be about survival for Lincoln, really, and then to try and consolidate, isn't it?
Yeah, I thought it was really interesting just how quickly they acted to allow the two assistants to kind of be the joint coaches. And maybe there's a reason for that. Maybe it's the club that has got them into this position, and maybe not Skabala. That's what we will find out. But you're right. I think that's an interesting signing to see how he gets on from Spurs. I think it'll be a difficult season for them. I certainly don't see playoffs for them. Cardiff probably the ones that maybe I think can push a bit further. Again, haven't done loads of business, but I really like the manager, Barry Murphy, and they could be a surprise.
Could this be the year that Stoke bounce back? You start to wonder, don't you? Because they're the example I think most people look at where a solid Premier League side get relegated and can't quite get up to speed again, and they've sort of really struggled ever since, haven't they?
They have. In a short answer, no. I think they'll finish exactly where they have done for the last 7 or 8 seasons, which is lower part of the league. I just don't see in recruitment how they're suddenly going to become a team that pushes a very, very strong championship this season, a very condensed championship with lots of teams that I think will be ahead of Stoke, looking to push for playoffs some more.
What about Wrexham this time? That's it. They have spent a fair bit of money, haven't they? So they'll be looking to... Can they get it done? I wonder. Can finally get over the line? You'd imagine they'll be in that...
Get in the playoffs.
Yeah, you imagine they'll be in that top 8 team, wouldn't you?
I think they will just about. But again, I think them and Birmingham almost feels as if the real big spending that they have done has quietened down, probably because of the financial rules, and maybe might take another season or two for that to develop for them. So I'm a little bit cool on those two in particular. Again, I just think there are teams that I fancy a lot more than those two. Of course, they're the big story, and they'll want to do it quickly. But I really do think the sort of top 8, top 10, top 8 is going to be so compact with good championship sides.
Should be a good atmosphere tonight, shouldn't it? Raul Jimenez back. He's going to get a great reception. They'll want to get off to a fly. Do you expect Wolves to get the win tonight?
Yes, I do. I think you're right. I think the atmosphere could be terrific. And it's about supporters having this opportunity, loving no VAR, I'm sure, but also just an opportunity to maybe have that season where they can enjoy good football, victories. I think Wolves fans will get behind that and the new manager. And they've got some exciting young players. Mane, I think the fact he stayed, can't wait to see how he gets on in the championship. And there's got to be a reason why Jimenez is there, because I think he could have gone to plenty of other teams and I'm sure get more money. So there's obviously a link there with how he feels about the club, and he could be clearly a leading goal scorer this season.
Well, enjoy the game, Dean. We'll catch up with you during the season. Thanks very much.
Yeah, can't wait. Thanks, fellas.
All the best. That's Dean Ashton. He's going to be alongside Adrian Durham, your host and indeed commentator Jim Proudfoot, to bring you the first game of the championship season. Wolves versus Blackburn tonight, 8 o'clock kickoff. All the build-up.
You mentioned West Ham or Millwall, both.
I think we've we talked a bit about Millwall yesterday. Again, I was saying I quite fancy them. Well, certainly it'd be in that
very good season,
that top 8.
But I think West Ham will win it. I do.
Yeah, yeah. Well, if they have a good first half of the season, so those players that might want out in January feel I want to see this through.
It's very determined.
Yeah, that's pretty clear. Yeah. Bolton v Preston for you tomorrow lunchtime. Adrian's around the grounds tomorrow afternoon. All the goals they go in. Over on talkSPORT 2, it's Borough versus Lincoln, and then at 5:30 also on talkSPORT 2, Sheffield United versus Birmingham City. Then Watford Saints on Sunday, and Burnley, what else we got for you? We got Cardiff Wrexham for you as well on Monday night. And, of course, the Community Shield in Cardiff between Arsenal and City. We'll have that for you on Sunday as well. So football well and truly back this weekend on talkSPORT. Now, F1 is having a little bit of a break for a couple of weeks. It returns to Holland next week. But it's a good shop window for Formula E that's got a big event coming up in London this weekend, and joining us to chat about that, David Coulthard, former F1 driver. We'll be chatting to him shortly.
Who's winning the title?
Don't know. I don't know. I want to know what you think of this, because I haven't got a clue. I really haven't. I think it's one of the most hardest calls to make we've had in recent years.
The thing is about Manchester City, I wonder without Pep how different it'll be.
Yeah, and if they lose Rodri.
Exactly. You wonder what it's going to be like, but then you never write them off. Arsenal, I think, look like the most complete team.
Gabriel injured though for 5 months.
For 5 months.
And Trossard going out. I don't like the Trossard
sale. I really don't. I think he's such a big, influential player for them. I can't believe they've sold him.
I know, but then Guimaraes came on in.
Big signing. Like
exactly.
him a lot.
But then I also look at Manchester United and I wonder, but Chelsea, I think, Jason's right. I don't think we should be sleeping on it at all.
No. We could have a 5 or 6 horse race this season. Yeah. That would be incredible. It really would. I don't want to see somebody run away with it.
Go on then, though. But Jason looked down the camera and delivered that it will be Chelsea.
I know.
So who is it, Ben? Put your neck on the line.
I'm going to say Man United. I do. I think Man United. I think the last season's form has set into motion a style of play and an expectation of what them players have to deliver week in, week out for Manchester United.
But they've got Champions League. They're back in Champions League.
They're back in Champions League.
I think they've got enough.
I think if they can add another one or two, Man United are definitely within a shout. But they need to add 1 or 2 big uns. But the problem nowadays is if you're going to add 1 or 2 big uns, then it's 200 million quid. Mm-hmm. Liverpool need a couple big uns.
However, I mean, we do know that Manchester United look like they have something left to spend.
Aguero, Solskjaer, Deeney. Sure, you know all about those last-minute goals, but have you heard the one about the on-loan goalkeeper who saved his temporary employers from disappearing out the Football League and into almost certain financial oblivion? Back in 1999, Carlisle United, managed by Nigel Pearson, were fighting to stay in the Football League. Carlisle's finances were precarious with a capital P that season, leading to a scenario where, with 3 games to go, they had to ask the FA to sanction an emergency loan deal to bring in a goalkeeper. Swindon Town's Jimmy Glass arrived at the club. His efforts in his first 2 games earned the Cumbrians 2 draws. Those vital points meant that Carlisle went into their final game of the Division 3 season, now League 2, needing to beat mid-table Plymouth Argyle in front of their own fans and hope their relegation rival Scarborough didn't win against Peterborough at home. The game at the McCain Stadium finished 1-1, and with the same scoreline at Brunton Park deep into injury time, Scarborough's fans invaded the pitch en masse, believing their Football League status was secure. However, Carlisle won a corner in the dying seconds and up came Jimmy Glass. In one of those you couldn't make it up moments, Glass scored from a rebounded header and was promptly swamped by teammates and thousands of fans who quite simply couldn't believe what they'd just witnessed.
It's Paul Hawksbee, Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT. Jamie O'Hara and Darren Bent with you at 4 with Drive. We'll be talking transfers a little bit later on this hour. More on that Jarell Quansah deal, potentially for Arsenal. There's a few more stories doing around about Victor Osimhen, that he could be tempted to move to the Premier League. He's, he's big wages and all that.
But Arsenal are trying to take that extra step to win the Champions League, so they need that quality of player to make that move. So I can see why they're going for him.
Yeah, well, they've been linked with quite a few players. So we'll get the latest on Rodri. EasyJet's very own Rodri. Did you see that?
Yeah, he's very down to earth, isn't he? Yeah.
It's all right, just put a base. But he proved the point. You put a few people recognised him, but maybe it was the quality of his luggage.
Didn't have his name on it.
What's that? On his luggage?
Yeah, I thought it had his name on it. But
oh, did it?
Well,
I mean, if you're wearing a baseball cap and trying to look incognito, I don't blaze Rodney across. Rodney? He's not Rodney, is he? He's Rodri.
Rodders.
Yeah. Across your bags. I wouldn't have thought.
Talking of Manchester City, Erling Haaland arrived for training the other day in a £500,000 Ferrari. Fair enough, he can afford it.
Not in an old...
it's only a week's wages for him, isn't it?
Austin Maestro, then.
But the interesting thing about this car, it does 0 to 62 in 3.3 seconds.
Yeah.
But I don't know how you can even drive. I find it really hard to drive at 20 miles an hour. So in that thing, how does he drive at 20?
What do you mean in the 20 mile an hour zone?
Yeah, because as soon as you touch the accelerator, it goes over the 20. It's very hard to keep.
Imagine spending your whole life professionally driving at breakneck speed and then having to do 20 miles an hour.
No, don't.
Let's ask a man who did just that. It is former F1 driver.
Very good point.
David Coulthard. Hi, David. Yeah. Hello, David.
Yes. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Yeah.
Do you ever get caught out in those? Because there's so many zones around the country now which are 20 miles an hour. And as a man who generally drives over 200 miles, well, not on the roads, obviously, but as a man who drove at very fast speeds, 20 mile an hour for you, I would imagine, is quite difficult.
Yeah, look, it is frustrating. There's no question about it. We understand the reasons why, but yeah, look, that's why I don't really drive a great deal. I am a brilliant passenger. I would never say I was a brilliant driver, but I'll definitely say I'm a brilliant passenger.
So all those years of driving's put you off of driving. Do you not get any great pleasure from it anymore?
Well, the great thing about being on a racetrack is the rule is go as fast as you can.
That's true.
And we're, of course, driving A to B around the country. And look, I don't want to beat up on our fine country, but the roads aren't exactly pothole free, are they?
No,
So
it's very
it's
true.
a bit challenging. You need an SUV, I think, to drive around the UK.
Definitely. Now, since we last spoke, you got married. Congratulations.
Oh, congratulations, yeah.
Thank you.
And
that was what turned out to be a 3-day Scottish bender.
Yes, we saw some of the stag do pictures in the papers. It looks like you had a good time.
Yeah, that was a 3-day bender as well.
That's good for you.
Now, with F1 on a bit of a sabbatical until next week, it's a good shop window for Formula E, and we got the big event at the XL, which I think it's the last time it's going to be at XL, isn't it?
Yeah, it's heading because we go into a new generation of cars for the next season, which are much, much faster. So although XL has served Formula E incredibly well, a fairly unique venue will be Brands Hatch from next year, which is a great historical venue. Used to host the British Grand Prix before Silverstone, of course. And if you're down near, what is it, Kent? Is that the the area of the UK? It's a brilliant location.
So the interesting thing about XL is that it goes in and out, doesn't it? It goes outside and inside, which we've talked about it before, but it's fairly unique from that point of view, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, who doesn't love a bit of inside and outside? And the weather is the heat wave continues, so there's no real fear of us having a downpour, and then that would prove a little bit more challenging for the drivers. But they do have all-weather tyres on the Formula E Championship. So yeah, look, great venue, close racing. A crowd can get right up above the drivers, which is just brilliant. Really, you get to see them work.
Have we got some Brits doing well at the moment, have we?
Yeah, we have indeed. We've got a brilliant battle, actually. There's a number of drivers that are in theoretical chance of, I think there's like 8 or 9 of them theoretically can win the championship. Realistically, I think it's only really 4. Oliver Rowland, the current champion, is down in 4th place, and we've got Jake Dennis leading. But it's pretty tight, and it's going to go down to the very last race, which is what we love. Well, it should go down to the last race. If 3 of them crash out in the first one and one gets fastest lap, pole position, and takes the win, it gets a bit more complicated. But it's a brilliant battle. As I say, two Brits in with a chance, and a nice mix of other drivers there that have been winning races throughout the year.
Go on.
I was going to say you finished going on to Formula One briefly. You finished before this kind of summer break came in. This sort of enforced 2-week down tools for the teams. Is that right?
Yeah, look, it's great for the mechanics and the engineers because they're on the road. If we didn't have the trouble in the Middle East, there were 24 Grand Prix, a number of back-to-back races. I think we've got 2 or 3 triple headers, and so the drivers, let's not pretend they're last in comfortably, first out. So this break really is about families and Formula One recognizing that we just can't thrash people the whole year round. So, the drivers, they only, Grand Prix is an hour and a half.
Yeah.
The longest Grand Prix would be 2 hours. It's not bad, is it? You guys put in a longer stint than that.
Yeah, that's true. We're on similar money as well, of course, which is always good.
So you've tried the new generation Formula E car. What was that like?
Yeah, it was spectacular. 4-wheel drive, a lot more power. Horsepower equivalent, I think it's 750, 800 horsepower. So I think, as you were mentioning, it's really difficult to be with electrification to not feel the power and the acceleration.
Oh, we were having a slight problem with David's line. Have we got him back? David, can you hear us? Oh, okay. We'll try and get him back if we can, because I had a couple of questions on the return of F1 next week, so we'll get his thoughts on that in a few moments' time. Andy, you're back on the road, aren't you? Recently?
Oh, back on the road.
You enjoying yourself out there?
Well, not too bad.
You're going less than 20 mile an hour, aren't you?
I
hopefully?
am. I've got in this new car. It's good.
You've got a little limiter on it.
Yeah, and it also goes. Every time you go, it's a funny noise.
Yeah.
Drives you a bit mad, but it does stop.
Well, it's worth it, isn't it? It's better than the alternative.
Better than not driving for 6 months.
Yeah.
Disaster.
Well, that'll teach you.
Yes,
it catches a lot of people out, but it's there we are.
Very, very true.
How are we doing with David? Can we get him back? No, we're still struggling a little bit. Anything else you want to talk about, Andy?
I see that that well-known Spurs fan.
Yeah.
Eduardo Mapelli Mozzi.
Pardon?
He's Princess Beatrice's husband.
Yeah.
Remember that thing came out that he's a big Spurs fan?
Oh, okay. I haven't seen him there.
No, I haven't seen him.
I wouldn't. I'd be looking for someone who's like, if we had a chance, his monocle would fall out. But I've not noticed anybody doing that.
Anyway, he wished his wife a happy birthday online.
Okay.
As people do these days.
Did he put coys at the end of it?
No, he didn't.
Did he get a special message from Pedro Porro?
That'd be great, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Pedro saying, happy birthday to Edward's beautiful wife. He loves you so much, you make his world. But...
Come on, you Spurs. Though he could actually put "Can't Smile Without You." That would have worked if he wanted to bring the two together. Anyway, we can't get David back, so we never got a chance to talk about Kimi Antonelli and all the other stuff. But just to let you know that you can watch the Formula E unfold over on talkSPORT 2 over the weekend and on ITVX as well. So we're going to talk transfers next. Look at some of the big deals that could still get done. Some of those that are just about to get over the line. Some of those that you're absolutely bored. That was close. Bored sick of is what I'll say.
Witless, I think.
Savinho to Spurs, etc. We all have one of those, folks, don't we? With our team, you're linked to a player. Sometimes it can go on for a year, and you think, "Oh, just get it done. Get it done or don't get it done." We're just so... By the time they get there, you're thinking, yeah, fine, you're here now. It's only taken a year. That's not the player's fault, for whatever reason. Well, anyway, we'll talk about some of those deals, and if you've got a few of those you want to run past us, talksport.com, text 8. Leandro Damião was our one. Every window. Is the Brazilian coming to Spurs? No, he's not. He's about 60 now. People even now say, when's Leandro Damião coming to the team? They retired about 4 years ago, I think. Anyway, Ben Jacobs joining us for a chat in a few moments' time. We're here with our good friends at Toolstation. Only got time for one stop. First stop, Toolstation.
Honestly, I've seen a few messages today and you go, yeah, that O'Hara and Gabby are talking rubbish. Need to get rid of them. You know, Rory talks sense. I'm like, having a laugh.
Yeah, that was me. That was me saying that. Yeah. I've been commenting. I've been God, those two have been terrible. Look at those two giggling away.
Brennan Johnson, listen, fair play to him. He had a little bite. And that's fine. Got no problem with a player having a bite back because it's all part and parcel of working in the media, being a footballer. You're going to take criticism. He obviously didn't like the fact we said it was crap for crap. What he didn't realise, and I'm sure...
That's weird of him, isn't it?
Yeah, obviously he's not going to like that. But, it was only a bit of a laugh. But, I get it. People are going to... You can get the ump with things. I've been called crap plenty of times. Get called crap every single day of the week. Don't take it personal. All right? It is what it is. He has been crap.
Yeah, I think that's
like,
the point.
I'm sorry, but, I'm not saying he's a bad player. Anyone who plays Premier League football, anyone who does what he's done, fair play. Brilliant. Last season, Brennan Johnson was crap.
Yeah.
He would be the first to admit it. And hopefully he goes to Everton and he does all right. And Dwight McNeil goes the other way. I like Dwight McNeil. I think he's a good player. His stats is what we were talking about on the show, me and Gabby, were crap.
Yeah.
So there's no apology needed. I know Gabby bottled it like he always does.
He blamed you. He said it was you.
He tried to throw me under the bus. Not the first time. Won't be the last. But I'll stand by it. Yeah. Nothing against Brennan Johnson.
I think you're right.
He's got all the attributes to be a decent player.
Yeah, I think
last season, he was crap.
Later on, we'll have the clips of the week, return of Tom Macklin's American Sports Roundup as well. We'll be chatting to the man who ran the fastest mile in the world ever with a stroller, which apparently is good for you, as we'll discover a little bit later on. But before all of that, transfers. Jero Quansah has suddenly surfaced as a potential target for Arsenal. So we'll kick off with that one with our senior football correspondent, Ben Jacobs. Hello, Ben.
Good afternoon.
So, the likelihood of this in your eyes, what are you hearing?
Yeah, I think Arsenal want a centre-back. They've made no secret of that since the injury to William Saliba. And now Jero Quansah has become an option. Leverkusen don't want to sell. Liverpool, when they sold him, had this buyback clause of 70 million euros, but it's expired. Doesn't really inform the valuation. Arsenal's perspective here is essentially Quansah might be cheaper than Ezri Konsa. Still, if they can get the Aston Villa defender, it appears to be the preferred option. And yet it's all about the money, because Arsenal's valuation of Konsa at Villa has been only around £30 million. Some sources say they could go up to 40, and yet Villa wants 60 plus. Quansah's cheaper. With time running out in the window, Arsenal have generated themselves more than one option and a bit of leverage. And now let's see whether they make that bid to Leverkusen to try and get the more economical option. And Quansah would be keen on the move. Or if they take that possibility back to Aston Villa and see if they can drive down the asking price for Quansah. And it's another example, as I think we said yesterday, of when you're trying to do a deal, Premier League, bringing in a player from outside, it's one number and valuation. But when you're dealing in Premier League to Premier League, more evidence that we're in a very inflated market.
Well, we see that in selling overseas. You know, if you're selling to a Premier League club from Premier League, there's a premium. But we're seeing with Jed Spence at the moment that there's only so much even a big club like Inter Milan are prepared to pay.
Yeah, so this deal is being formalised today, and Spence is going to join for a total package of 35 million euros, of which roughly slightly over 30 million is the guaranteed fee. And if you think about the World Cup that he had, coupled with the fact that Tottenham was seeking over 40 million euros at the beginning of the window, it is, as you rightly say, a clear indication that even some of the big Champions League type clubs are not prepared to enter into this inflated market. And yet, of course, at the end of the window, there's urgency. It was obviously a saga that Tottenham realised they had to resolve because Spence wanted to go and be a starter somewhere. And yet now Tottenham have to potentially assess the market for a fullback replacement, and time is running out. And it's not just about the fee for Spence, which is slightly less than Tottenham would have liked. It's also about whether now they themselves have to overpay to bring someone else through the door.
I mean, they have some cover at right back. They certainly have cover at left back. But at right back, really, it is only Archie Gray. So you're right. If they go back into the market and they want Premier League ready, and De Zerbi has said that he wants 2 good players for every position, then they're likely to be paying more than that, Ben, aren't they?
Yeah, and also this isn't, when we say inflated market, necessarily something that all clubs are behind. Liverpool have been very disciplined so far, and so have Arsenal, but Tottenham have kind of broken the market in a very positive way from their perspective, but in a very negative one that's got repercussions for other Premier League clubs. And the reality is that if you're Tottenham Hotspur and you're out there having paid, which is so exciting for fans, 100 million for Tonali, 85 million for Mateus Fernandes, 52 million for Jan-Paul van Hecke with 1 year left on his contract, and so on, to try and find value when you're buying in particular is really tough. And unless you get like two-way business where they went to Atleti, for example, and said, can we get anything out of the Romero deal, or Inter, can we bring in a player out of the Spence deal? You're suddenly in a situation where everyone knows Tottenham have got money, everyone knows they're looking to make a statement for Roberto De Zerbi, and everybody knows that ultimately they're going to do more business between now and the end of the window. So it'll be intriguing to see who they sign. And as you say, there's trust in Archie Gray to also cover at right back as well. But this is just this crazy Premier League window, and Tottenham have to almost resign themselves, in my opinion, to the fact that their tactic here isn't necessarily about getting value financially off fees, because in fairness, you can amortise them, and over a course of time, it doesn't make a great deal of difference. Tottenham's tactic is just to buy, be ambitious, and support Roberto De Zerbi in the hope that this statement window can lead to a statement season.
Yeah.
Someone suggested that Jim White should get out his yellow tie for Enzo Fernandez Day.
Yes, is it Enzo Fernandez Day? The clock's ticking, as Jim would say.
I mean, it's my club, but it's a really daft thing to do. I mean, everybody knows if City come in on next Thursday with 120 million, he'll go. They won't say, no, sorry, you didn't do it last Friday.
I thought Sam Matterface made a good point earlier. I don't think there's a particularly great relationship in the fact that Maresca's gone. We know that Chelsea weren't happy about the way he left. I don't think that. I think they're probably making it as difficult as possible.
Yes, and they want clarity because it's this bigger thing, as you rightly say, between Chelsea and Man City. And Chelsea's perspective, even though it's kind of denied by Man City sources, is that Maresca knew he had the Man City job. Maresca left after a formal approach from Man City. That was a distraction, even though those close to Maresca and City say, how could that have been the case? Because no one knew at that point that Pep Guardiola was definitively leaving. Then add to the fact that Enzo Fernandez, in an international break, was flirting with Madrid, and Chelsea had to give him a 2-game suspension, and that in itself wasn't ideal either. And now we're in a situation where Chelsea don't want this to be a deadline day saga. Chelsea don't want Man City to get all aggressive when they don't have time to potentially add a replacement. And Chelsea don't want to kick off against Fulham not knowing whether Enzo Fernandez is in or out, because the new manager, Xabi Alonso, will be asked about it. If he picks Enzo Fernandez, is he definitely staying? If he didn't pick Enzo Fernandez or start him, a whole barrage of questions. And yet the irony is not lost on Man City that Chelsea went big on Enzo Fernandez when he was at Benfica at the beginning of a January window, and they only closed the deal with 5 minutes to spare at the end of that January window, and Benfica were not really that happy about it. So the window's the window. You're perfectly entitled to use all time in the window. But Chelsea's perspective is this is saga over if they don't receive a written bid by 5 p.m. today.
Victor Osimhen has been linked to Spurs, to Arsenal, to a number of other clubs. What are the chances, you think, of him leaving Galatasaray in this window?
I think there's a fair chance at the end of this that Victor Osimhen actually stays, even though the Tottenham links are part of their wider search for a forward. And yet my info there is Cody Gakpo and Savinho for Spurs, if they can possibly pull those two off. Wage is still a bit of an issue with Victor Osimhen, even though Tottenham are showing they're prepared to break their wage structure. So yes, Tottenham want a 9, but nothing advanced yet with Victor Osimhen. And yet for Arsenal, because Galatasaray want Gabriel Martinelli and have been speaking about Ethan Nwaneri, Victor Osimhen has come up. And I think that's normal as part of a very early stage negotiation. But the challenge again is what Victor Osimhen wants in terms of wage and bonuses, agent commissions. And if reports are to be believed, Galatasaray have already turned a very lucrative bid, far more than Arsenal would be prepared to pay from Al Hilal. So I sense there's a bit of games here. And then regarding Martinelli, Galatasaray basically want either Rafa Leao or Gabriel Martinelli. And as we revealed on talkSPORT on Sunday, there was an approach to Arsenal from Galatasaray. Since then, there's been a bid of 45 million euros. At the time we're live, that's not been answered. And some of the reason why is Martinelli will need a lot of convincing to go to Turkey. The same for Ethan Nwaneri as well. So a lot of bluster and, in theory, some mutually beneficial business. But the practical realities of the cost of Osimhen, coupled with the fact that both those Arsenal players need to change their position on Turkey, means that actually nothing might happen regarding any of these players.
For now, thank you, Ben. As always, have a good weekend.
You too.
Ben Jacobs, senior football correspondent at talkSPORT, with the latest on the transfer window. There'll be more transfer chat throughout the day. We'll keep an eye on what's going on. I'm sure the boys on Drive will be doing that. Jamie O'Hara and Darren Bent. And we got kickoff from 7 tonight with Adrian Durham at Molineux for Wolves versus Blackburn. All the fallout from that opening game of the Championship season with Max Scott and Carlton Cole in the Sports Bar at 10. But in the next hour of the show, we will be chatting to Dean Holden, assistant head coach of Hull City, see how things are shaping up as they return to the Premier League next week. What's going wrong at Rangers? Stuart Weir has posted some very interesting stuff overnight after that defeat in Europe, and will be giving us his thoughts on that. And Jeff and Janice Ivey are from Texas, but they have moved to Wrexham, partly off the back of the documentary, but it's turned into much more than that. A lovely story. They'll be joining us in the next hour of the show.
Another one or two players in Man United in with a shout at the title. What do you think, Gabby?
No, I think Champions League will take a lot out of that squad of players. I look at right backs, Mazraoui, Dalot, not good enough. Centre backs, they need cover there as well. Shesko, listen, he done okay last season, double figures. He's got to be at it this season. They've got a very good squad of players, Jeff, but if they don't get 2 or 3 top players in certain roles, I don't think they can fight for the title. I think top 4 again and get out the group stage of the Champions League will be a very good season.
Yeah, I mean, they've not been too busy in the transfer market, to say the least. They've brought in Yuri Tielemans, they've brought in Andre Santos. Ben Foster thinks one of those is the signing of the summer.
I still think Yuri Tielemans is the signing so far.
What a better business that is.
What a bit of business.
Yeah.
Honestly, I genuinely still think I'm watching a load of transfers happen, and Tottenham spending a lot of money, and Arsenal just spent a lot of money. I still think Yuri Tielemans is the signing of the summer so far for 30-odd million quid, whatever it was. He is a ready-made, good-to-go starting 11 player, and I think if you can spend £30 million on a ready-to-go starter, it is worth every single penny.
Yeah. And I agree with him. I think Yuri Tielemans is going to be one of the signings of the summer. But when I look at that midfield, talent is Tielemans and Bruno Meno and Andre Santos. That's just too thin on the ground, isn't it? They need more than that.
Players get injured as well. And where's their real defensive midfielder? I know Andre Santos has been brought in for that role, but he didn't pull up any trees at Chelsea, did he? Where's their, Villa got Bouba Kamara. You look at Anderson, Gravenberch.
We'll have some clips of the week for you in the final hour, but it's time now for the sports headlines with Max Scott.
talkSPORT Sports Update with NordVPN. Encrypt your internet connection and protect your devices from malware and hackers with our most advanced VPN.
Cheers, Paul. Good afternoon. Now, they've been given a 5 p.m. deadline by Chelsea to sign Enzo Fernandez, but Enzo Maresca insists he expects no business by Man City to be done today. Many expected it to be done, but the Italian has quashed those reports. And when asked specifically about Fernandez, the typical manager's response.
I have to give you the same answer since day one and will be always the same. It's a player from another club, and I don't think it's correct to speak about other players.
Our chief football correspondent Alex Crooks not fully buying into Chelsea's hardline approach to Fernandez, though.
Enzo Maresca's playing the game there. I'm sure he delivered it with a glint in his eye. I'm like Gabby. I'm suspicious of this hard deadline. That's the information we're getting out of Chelsea. If the £120 million offer is not made in written format today by 5 o'clock, then Enzo Fernandez won't be going anywhere this summer.
Maresca's also been asked about Rodri's future. He's expected to go to Barcelona, although 2 bids have been rejected. Maresca says he gave the Spain captain a big hug when he saw him, but offered no guarantees he will stay at the Etihad. No guarantee, it seems, that Arsenal will get Ezri Konsa out of Aston Villa. We understand the bid that was turned down fell short of Villa's valuation by as much as 25 million quid. So it might be Jarell Quansah instead for the Gunners. We understand they're considering the Bayer Leverkusen defender as an alternative. And the Championship returns at Molineux tonight as Wolves take on Blackburn. That one, of course, is live here on talkSPORT. Raul Jimenez is back on a free transfer from Fulham and says despite relegation, Wolves is where he wants to be despite many other offers.
talkSPORT News.
There's confusion over Farage's credible threat claim as he missed the Clacton by-election count, and 2 have been charged with attempted murder of a prisoner believed to be the father of Sarah Sharif. More with Toby at past.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit. Heatwave outside, oven inside. Stay cool this summer with a free aircon check. Book online or visit your local QuickFit today.
We're expecting another sunny and very hot afternoon with rain possible in Wales, Northern England and Eastern England.
Odds update on talkSPORT with Betfair. Everyone's got an opinion. Back yours at Betfair. 18+ gambleaware.org.
Good afternoon, it's Paul Hawksbee and Hawksbee Jacobs here on talkSPORT. It is fairly nuts the way football eats itself, isn't it? I mean, on Sky Sports News currently, they've got a countdown clock to the Enzo Fernandez move to City. Will they beat the deadline? A clock.
I sometimes wonder with Chelsea what they're thinking. I mean, that's absolutely... They've put themselves on offer by doing this. It's a completely unnecessary thing to do to make a public announcement.
I think it's maybe a,
you could have said by the start of the season.
Yeah.
Not today.
Look, as we said,
so arbitrary.
There's a little bit of spite, bit of bad blood in there. Who knows? We'll see. But it doesn't look like it's going to happen. Anyway, it's time now to get all the latest odds from James Mackey, from our friends and new official betting partner Betfair. We'll be looking at some of the big games this weekend. Hi, James.
How are we doing, guys? All right?
Yeah, we're not so bad. We were chatting to Dean Ashton. He's on his way to Molineux for the game tonight, our co-commentator for the opening game of the EFL. So I thought we'd get some odds on that one first. I imagine Wolves are pretty hefty favourites.
Yeah, they are, Paul. Yeah, they're the 4-9 odds-on favourites to make a successful start to their championship campaign this evening. And looking at the season as a whole, they're 5-1 to win the league and 6-4 to gain promotion back to the Premier League. So that's just second favourites behind West Ham. A nice stat for Wolves fans tonight is they're actually unbeaten in their last 8 league meetings with Blackburn Rovers, winning 4 and drawing 4. As for Blackburn, they face an uphill task tonight, and maybe for the season, according to the odds, they're the 9-2 outsiders in the match odds 90 market, take all 3 points. But Blackburn have lost just one of their last 9 away league games against Wolves, interestingly, winning 2 and drawing 6. So quite interesting that. It could be a tough season, as I said, according to the odds for Blackburn, being as short as 4-1 to be relegated. The draw is priced at 5-2 this evening, with Blackburn's last 2 visits to Molineux both finishing 0-0. And obviously for the neutral, and we all hope, anyone watching the game, we hope it's not a 0-0 draw tonight. But if you did want to back that, because Lightning struck twice recently, it's as big as 10-1 for 0-0 tonight in that game.
People watching on Connect TV will see your background's quite Wolves, isn't it, really?
It is, oh yeah. I wonder if that's, a bit subliminal, really.
Well, I am from Wolverhampton originally as well,
okay.
but I'm not a Wolves fan. But yeah, it obviously it's the Betfair colours behind, but Wolves colours. But just looking at the possible scorers in tonight's games, obviously was mentioned there, Raul Jimenez, he's back at Wolves. Obviously came from Fulham, didn't he, last season? He's 5-4 to score any time tonight. And Adam Armstrong's another who's going to play a big part for Wolves up top this season. He's 6-4 to score any time tonight. And interestingly, for the Championship, we have in the bet builders and on selected markets, we have say sub attached to that this evening. So one for Punch to take advantage of throughout the season.
Something to consider. Kieran Trippier, as the proof of England over the years, can hit a mean free kick. I wonder if he'll get his chance to step up now and again. And he could, any time goal scorer. If you fancy a bit of a, well, I imagine fairly decent odds on something like that, isn't it?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Kieran Trippier is 9-1 in the market to score at any time tonight. And I think you make a really good point, actually, that he is a bit of a set-piece specialist, haven't we? We've seen him score goals for Newcastle and England in semi-finals of the World Cup. So 9-1 back in the Championship for him to score any time tonight, if that floats your boat.
Or any time assists. I think, first, because he's putting in those crosses and he's putting in a lot of the set pieces. So we shall see. Now, the Community Shield. Let's be honest. Despite what Josie used to say, it is really a glorified friendly.
Yeah, it is.
So
a bit of edge to it.
Do the punters get involved in this? Is it a popular market?
I think because it's just you see the two teams, Arsenal v Manchester City, and then you go, right, it's the start of the Premier League next season, and this is the game that both sets of fans all want to win going into it, and then everyone has their opinion off the back of it. Well, oh God, Haaland wasn't great today, or stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? So it's one of them that people do get behind. And in the market currently, it's really hard to split them, as it probably will be for most of the season. Arsenal are the 7-5 slight favourites to lift the trophy. Only Manchester United have won the Community Shield more often than Arsenal. Have won it 17 times, with the Gunners each winning each of their last 5 when they've been in it. Arsenal have also won the 3 Community Shields when they've been reigning Premier League champions as well, so very interesting. Manchester City are the 8-5 outsiders, actually, in the match odds 90 market to win the game. And City don't have as great a record, actually, in this competition. They did last win when they were in the Community Shield, beating Man United on penalties, but they've been runners-up in the match 9 times. The draw is priced at 15-8 on Sunday. And actually, the last 3 Community Shields have finished in a stalemate and been won on penalties. So if you wanted to look at to lift the trophy market instead and not have to worry about the 90 minutes, Arsenal are 20-23 and Man City are 9-10 just to lift the trophy.
And they can get, the good thing about this, they can get a bit narky, can't they? There's a few players there with scores to settle and try and get under each other's skin in these games.
There's going to be a few players that aren't ready yet as well.
Yeah, I mean, Gabriel...
World Cup.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. You say Haaland's unlikely to start, you would think. I would imagine that he might feature, but I'd be surprised if he starts.
Yeah, it's an interesting one because I don't think he's actually played much of the pre-season so far, has he? But he might. You'd like to think that he might get some game time just for the fans that are obviously going that want to see him. But he is 11-10 to score any time if he was to play. He's 11-2 to get 2 or more, and as big as 30-1 to get a hat trick. But it would just be interesting to see how much he actually does play leading into that first Premier League game of the season where they play Bournemouth. For Arsenal, it could be a really big season for Gyökeres, really, couldn't it? Like, I don't know what you thought of him last season. He was up and down. He scored a few goals probably against the lesser teams, but against the bigger teams, struggled slightly.
Finished stronger than he started, I'd say.
Yeah, I'd agree. Yeah, and if he plays a big part, he's 7-4 to score any time against Manchester City on Sunday. And that's the other thing you mentioned around the likes of Gabriel, and you mentioned Bukayo Saka. Are they going to play? Gabriel Jesus, he started up top in their last game, didn't he, for Arsenal? He's 11-5 to score any time. And it's interesting because I don't know if many people actually thought he might stay at Arsenal this season, but he has been playing in pre-season. So it's probably a watching brief for a lot of different people, but I think we'll get to see a few of the stars, and there's always a rivalry between these two clubs.
Good stuff. Thank you very much. Have a good weekend, Jamie. Thanks very much.
You too, guys. Thanks.
There we are. That's James Mackey from Betfair. You can visit Betfair for all the latest offers at betfair.com. 18+, begambleaware.org.
Odds update on talkSPORT with Betfair. Everyone's got an opinion. Back yours at Betfair. 18+, gambleaware.org.
Griff's been in touch, Andy.
Oh, yeah.
He said, Andy, have you seen the scorecard? Australia, Bangladesh, the first.
I have, yeah.
Bangladesh are 351 for 6, which is pretty amazing.
I know, they bowled Australia
out. Less than 200, 198.
It's been good. The thing is, it's very early in the Australian season. They've probably taken them for granted a bit. They'd normally expect to roll over Bangladesh. So, they probably...
Never lost home test to Bangladesh, Australia.
There's a bit of a way to go yet.
Yeah, that is very true. But, Griff, thank you for pointing that out. I mentioned, instead of saying Rodri earlier on, I said Rodney. So Jamie said, off the back of that, Paul, I thought of a few Only Fools and Horses based footballers.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't ask for him, but Uncle Albert Ferrer.
Okay.
Del Boisque. Yeah, the former Real Madrid
Del
manager.
Boisque, yeah.
Angel Raquel, as in Raquel. Jamie, maybe you're struggling at that point. If you want to do Only Fools and Horses based footballers because of my slip of the tongue, knock yourselves out. talksport.com/H&J. You can text to 81089 or you can tweet to TSH&J. Anything else you want to share with the class, Andy? You've got a couple of minutes.
Bit of a revelation in the world of petanque.
Ball
to you.
Yes, okay.
It's new shoes, espadrilles, have magnets fitted in them.
Do they?
So you haven't got to bend down to pick up the ball. You just sort of like put your foot next to the ball, pick it up, and then you can just go like that.
What, the magnets on the top of the shoe?
Yeah, or even on the back of the shoe by the look of it.
So on the back of the shoe, so you walk up to it and then you just lift. Surely
you've still got to bend down.
The weight of the metal ball against an espadrille, wouldn't it just kind of take the back of the espadrille off?
I don't know.
I would imagine.
Who knows?
That sounds like something that'd go into the den and they wouldn't have, they'd try them on, wouldn't they? Peter Jones would try on the sort of size 14s that they had there and the ball would just fall off the back of them.
Olivier Jelly.
Olivier Jelly?
That's his name.
You're just making this up now, aren't you? How are you spelling jelly?
Delly. Jelly.
Not much better, is it?
Jelly and green.
Yes.
And admits that the idea began as a joke. I was having a laugh with some friends over a glass of rosé, he said. We're coming up with all kinds of ideas. Wouldn't it be cool if I made an espadrille with a magnet for petanque?
That's why I'm out. Yeah.
Anyway, apparently 40% of sales have been to US customers.
Yeah.
Petanque has a small but devoted American following. And about 30,000 people play in America, and a lot of them are buying the magnetic espadrilles. Well, I'd like to bring you a different sort of story.
You learned nothing else today. You learn something every day on this show.
Oh,
of course, what we learned yesterday,
yes,
Andy, I don't know if you probably weren't listening.
Well,
was that it's quite hard to buy antiperspirant in China. Were you aware of this?
No, I wasn't.
David Gilbert, the snooker player, has gone there.
Oh yeah, so
he's doing better than he thought.
Yeah.
Apparently
can't be true.
They say there was a AI claim. Our old mate ChatGPT, hello lads, I love the beavers, claims that there's a genetic makeup in people from China that means that they don't really get body odor.
Really?
So it's not a big call for. You'll find it in sort of tourist outlets and big sort of malls.
Yeah.
But David's struggling to find antiperspirant. You have antiperspirant in China, David?
It's very hot in China at this time of the year.
Yeah, but
I've been in China in mid.
Nobody whiffs, which is
unbelievable. You think it's hot here? Forget it.
Which is good to hear. Anyway, we move on. Dean Holden joined us for a chat ahead of. He's the assistant head coach of Hull City, and he'll be joining us. Of course, they're gearing up to their return to the Premier League. They had an amazing season last year. It was really no expectation on them, but did a fantastic job. Did Dean and the manager, the coaching staff, and the players. And Rangers, Derek McInnes is going through the ringer a bit. A man who loves Rangers and has left a great job at a great club to go there, but so far it's not going well. We'll speak to Stuart Weir, and I think we'll discover that this is not all on Derek McInnes. So that's all to come. But first, a lovely story related to Wrexham and a couple from the States that were so taken with the documentary series and subsequent visits to that part of the world that they have moved there. So Jeff and Janice Ivey joining us for a chat in a few moments' time. We're here with Tool Station, open from 7 a.m. Monday to Saturday. Grab what you need, get on site, get it done. First stop, Tool Station.
Gabby Bungalow joined myself and Drive on Monday. I asked him if he thought Arsenal are to win the league.
Yeah, I do, yeah. I think it's done, mate.
Do you?
Yeah.
Well, you think it's over?
Yeah, it's over, mate.
Really?
Yeah. They're that strong, man. They went and brought in Guimaraes as well, mate. Come on.
Yeah, I hear you, all right, and I probably don't want to admit it yet.
Yeah.
We ain't even kicked a ball.
I know,
They're
mate.
the only settled football club in the league.
Exactly.
Right? That's what they've got going for it. What do you make of that? Do you feel like look, you're an Arsenal fan? They had a great season last season.
Yeah.
Are they're the team to beat?
I think of course they're the Premier League champions. They're the favourites, but I wouldn't sit here today, no chance, and say, it's ours easy. No way whatsoever, because there's so many factors last season. I mean, Arsenal finally got over the line. They played a productive way that maybe for some people, I didn't actually mind it. I quite enjoyed watching it, but there were some people that said that they stunk the place out in terms of the way that they played the game, but they did what they needed to get over the line.
They did stink the place out.
Well, no, you didn't.
Well, they did.
How?
Well, they stunk the Premier League out.
You can't stink it out and win it.
No, you can.
No, you can stink it out and finish fourth bottom. Hey, I tell you that. You can do that.
You did stink it out. No, like, you brought the level of fun down in the Premier League.
For a Gooner, it wasn't.
Oh, come on. It was turgid, some of the football.
Listen, I loved it, right?
Did you really? You'd hate to play in that team.
No, I wouldn't. What, Premier League winners medal? I wouldn't.
You want to see a bit more exciting football.
People say
like, come on, you've won it now. Arteta's won it. Play a bit more exciting stuff.
People say that, right? Arsenal still scored 71 goals in the league last year. Only Man City scored more.
Hawksbee Jacobs here on talkSPORT now. We are aware, of course, off the back of the Welcome to Wrexham documentary series, that it's become a tourist destination, especially for a lot of Americans, because of Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney and their Hollywood connections. But our next guests have kind of taken it to a different level. I think the documentary may have been the catalyst, but it's turned into far more than that. And now Jeff Ivey and Janice Ivey, who live just outside of San Antonio in Texas, are looking to move to Wrexham. I believe Jeff is in Wrexham currently, and Janice is still over in Texas, and they join us now. Good afternoon, good morning for you. Well,
good morning,
yeah, good morning for you, Janice. That's right. So, Jeff, kind of fill us in on this. I've sort of set the scene a little bit. So, is it right, Jeff? Was the documentary the kind of first awareness you had of Wrexham as a place?
Yeah, the documentary certainly introduced us to the town and to the club and to the people. And it's the people in the community, though, that really got into our hearts and kind of made this a pretty easy decision for us as we were, considering where are we going to go, what's next for us. And we ended up coming over here. Not counting me being here now, we were over here, I think, 6 times in 2 years, and just kept making friends and getting connected into the community. And like I'm talking to you from the Wrexham Miners Project, where we've both, Janice and I, have been involved in supporting some of their programs, and we're going to be able to do a lot more with our time in volunteering here. So, yeah, the documentary certainly opened that door, but the people in the community really iced it for us.
Janice, the transition from a community point of view has been made easier because your family has kind of got connections in the mining industry, so it didn't sort of jar when you first went there.
Yeah. My grandfather was a coal miner in outside of Pittsburgh in Pennsylvania. So when we went to the mine, we wanted to visit Wrexham, because of the documentary. But we had wanted to visit the Miners Project too. They are, Wrexham AFC is one of their charities that they sponsor. So definitely we had that connection for me because of that.
How easy is it to move permanently? I gather you're waiting for a visa. Is it quite a performance to actually move from America to the UK?
It can be. I have to remind myself it's one day at a time. I'm a dual citizen of the UK and the US. My grandmother was born in Scotland, and we had all the paperwork. We had her registry of birth and everything we needed to get that processed. For Janice, yeah, her spousal visa is in process. We've submitted everything, so now we're just hurrying up and waiting for that. And Janice is selling our home in Texas, and I think both of those are going to come together at the same time, and then she'll be here.
Lovely.
You've made good friends, Janice, by the sound of it, from these visits.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, and every time we come, it was more and more friends that we made, and more of a connection that we had there. So that was a big plus in our move. The community, and Wales is a beautiful country. So yeah, it was all of our decision making was part of that. Yeah,
it's quite
the club.
Sure,
the club is a bonus too. Yeah.
And it is quite a big decision to make, isn't it, Jeff? I mean, you've obviously got family back home. Are they sort of supportive of what you're doing?
Yeah, we have 3 grown children who I think view this as, once we get here, now they've got someplace to go.
Yeah.
So they've been extremely supportive of this. And it's just, we have the 3 kids. We have no grandchildren or anything, which I think would have complicated this decision. But it's the right time in our lives to do this. You never know what tomorrow's going to bring. So, we kind of sat down, did a whole pro-con list, and, at the end of the day, it was, it's difficult. There's a lot of steps you have to go through, I have to get my NHS number and I have to get my UK driver's license and everything like that. But it's going to, I can see for us, it's going to be totally worth it. And we could not be more excited to do this.
Well, Janice, America, very convenient society. Everything's available. Customer comes first and all that stuff. Not quite the same in Wrexham, I'd imagine.
Andy, how do you know?
In England, in Britain, is Britain a consumer society set up in the way that America is for the customer?
No. Look, there's going to be some things that are different. I mean, what have you noticed so far? Maybe good and bad, Janice. Go on, let's dare to be critical. I mean, what have you liked and what haven't you liked when you've kind of spent more time in England? Or Wales in this case. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Wales. I think for the countryside is it's beautiful. We've as we've gotten to know people, we've went on these beautiful walks with people that we've met there, and it's a beautiful country. So I think we're excited about that. Not being as hot as Texas, we aren't normally from Texas, so that's kind of nice. Jeff will laugh about this. Probably my negative is when we go to the grocery store, I can't find coffee creamer. So that's probably, you'll laugh about my negative. But I have not been able to find coffee creamer at the grocery stores like we have in the U.S. So that's kind of my only negative so far. But yeah.
Yeah, we also don't sell a lot of half and half in the UK. It's a bit of a strain on the NHS. So we try and steer clear of that if we can. As well.
Yeah, exactly. So there are different things that are sold here that aren't sold there, and it will definitely be a adjustment, on different things, I'm sure. But we're excited for the adventure of it all, and being there and being more in the community and being part of that, the atmosphere that Wrexham brings, and being there for the matches and being in the pub,
yeah,
the turf.
You can get Coffee Mate online.
You can buy Coffee Mate.
Right.
Yeah, you can buy that. That's right. They can, but probably Amazon will do that for you.
Yeah.
So. And finally, Jeff, your story has reached Ryan Reynolds, co-owner of the club, of course, and his line, which is a top line, was thank goodness they didn't watch Chernobyl on TV. So. But have you had any direct? Has he reached out? Have you had a chance to meet him or Rob McElhenney at a game?
No. I will say that comment kind of made my week because I thought it was very funny, very timely. No, we have not met them. I some of my friends here have met both of them, certainly. And the funny story about how this even all happened is because I ordered 2 sweatshirts from the band, the Declan Swans, a couple of Christmases ago, and someone nicked a sweatshirt out of the package before it got to me. And so I didn't know who I was emailing at the time. And it ended up being Michael Hett, Scoot, who's the lead singer in the band, writes the songs, and he's been on the documentary a lot. And I turned to Janice, I said, "Holy cow, it's the guy from the documentary that we've been emailing." But we've become great friends with Scoot and his wife, and there's a little bit of pinch me going on that we're doing this, and I'm afraid I'm going to wake up and it's all been a dream, but. Again, we're just very excited. The community has been so welcoming, and it's very easy to find a pub here. So that's plus.
You won't struggle for a pub, certainly. In Wrexham. Lovely to speak to you both. I hope you get everything sorted out and get a chance to come over. But for now, thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's Jeff Ivey and Janice Ivey. They're moving from Texas to Wrexham partly off the back of the documentary. So joining us next for a bit of a chat, it's the Hull City assistant head coach Dean Holden. With just a week to go to the season gets underway. They kick off against Dean's boyhood club, of course, Manchester United. It's the Dean Holden derby next Saturday lunchtime live on talkSPORT. And we'll see how things are gearing up for the return to the Premier League straight after the news headlines.
The way he was bullying Pacho, he was terrorising that defence. Did he miss chances? Yes, he did. Players at 25 will miss chances, never mind 17. He's going to learn a lot. I don't think you can start saying now he's the next striker after Harry Kane, but you know what you need to do now, Jeff? If I'm the FA, I am fast-tracking him because Luxembourg, no, he's not going to choose Luxembourg, but Cameroon, parents are from Cameroon. They'll be looking at him right now saying, we want to get him in the squad for the Cameroon, get him playing a competitive qualifier so that he can't play for England. So maybe fast track him.
He's made it pretty clear that he wants to play for England, hasn't he?
Yeah, but you never know, do you? There's so many players. I was in that position where I could have played for Scotland, Nigeria, through my parents. His parents are Cameroonian. So if I'm the England setup now, he's been called up to under 17s for friendlies this month. Yeah. I'm fast tracking him even to the 21s. Not straight away now, Jeff, but let's see how he does over the next 2 or 3 months. It won't surprise me if he gets fast-tracked to the 21s. And Thomas Tuchel, the FA, are looking at it and saying, okay, do we get him into the squad? Do we get him a cap in a qualifier, a Nations League game, so that he has to play for England? Because after Harry Kane, how many strikers do we look at and say, whoa, he's the next Harry Kane? I agree. They shouldn't put pressure on him now that he's going to be our next striker after Harry Kane. But that performance last night, even though it's only 60, 70 minutes, he was fantastic. And maybe if he continues and the manager gives him game time this season, we could be looking in 2 years' time, Jeff, at the Euros and saying he's on that plane and he's the cover for Harry Kane.
Yeah.
Aguero, Solskjaer, Deeney. Sure, you know all about those last-minute goals, but have you heard the one about the on-loan goalkeeper who saved his temporary employers from disappearing out the Football League and into almost certain financial oblivion? Back in 1999, Carlisle United, managed by Nigel Pearson, were fighting to stay in the Football League. Carlisle's finances were precarious with a capital P that season, leading to a scenario where, with 3 games to go, they had to ask the FA to sanction an emergency loan deal to bring in a goalkeeper. Swindon Town's Jimmy Glass arrived at the club. His efforts in his first 2 games earned the Cumbrians 2 draws. Those vital points meant that Carlisle went into their final game of the Division 3 season, now League 2, needing to beat mid-table Plymouth Argyle in front of their own fans and hope their relegation rival Scarborough didn't win against Peterborough at home. The game at the McCain Stadium finished 1-1, and with the same scoreline at Brunton Park deep into injury time, Scarborough's fans invaded the pitch en masse, believing their Football League status was secure. However, Carlisle won a corner in the dying seconds and up came Jimmy Glass. In one of those you couldn't make it up moments, Glass scored from a rebounded header and was promptly swamped by teammates and thousands of fans who quite simply couldn't believe what they'd just witnessed.
this time next week, we'll be looking ahead to the start of the Premier League. Arsenal taking on newly promoted Coventry, of course, on the first night. And then on Saturday, it is Hull City back in the big time against Manchester United. And that one live on talkSPORT. Now, joining us is the assistant head coach of Hull City, friend of the show, Dean Holden. Hi, Dean.
How you doing? Okay.
Yeah, we're good. We're not so bad. How's it all going? Everybody getting very excited there?
Have we got the original Hawksbee Jacobs, or is it Hawksbee and Baker?
Oh no, it's Hawksbee and Jacobs. Yeah.
Oh, the proper double act. Here we go. How are you doing, chaps? Sorry, I'm just coming from training, so I've not had a chance to listen in.
No problem, Dean. So yeah, I mean, so everything on course. All the preparations going well so far.
Yeah, I think as well as they could be. We're still a week to go, obviously. I think ideally you'd want the window closing prior to your first game, just so you can get some real certainty within your playing squad. But obviously that's the rules, and we abide by them. So we've had a really good pre-season up to now. Players, as you know, come back very, very fit, even on that first day. So come back in top fitness. We've had some really strong pre-season games, and a good one to finish tomorrow at home to Nice.
Oh, okay, that'd be interesting. You've some few new faces have come in. You're looking to firm up some people that have been on loan. I know you can't say anything because it's not 100% done yet. And you know, some of the boys that got you up, a lot of the boys that got you up last year are going to be getting their chance in the top division.
Yeah, I think last time I was on, cheeky plug when I was talking about my new YouTube show, Holding It Together.
We'll come on to that. I've got that. Don't worry. I'm going to mention.
One of the coaches asked me to get it in within the first 45 seconds, but I've not got a timer, so that he'll be laughing away now in the office. But no, I think it was important to keep the nucleus of the squad of the team. We had such a good spirit last year of the lads that got us up there. Of course, Premier League's a different beast, and we need extra quality to add to the group, which we've started to do, certainly in recent days anyway. We've been preparing for a while now, and yeah, in the last week or so, we've got some really good players in through the door. There's a lot of young potential, which is yet to be sort of realised, but there's certainly some good players in there. And yeah, unfortunately for us, a couple of ones we've signed, we've not seen them out properly on the training pitch through little niggly injuries up to now. So yeah, building up nicely. Obviously, it's a fantastic game. The world will be watching against one of the world's biggest clubs next Saturday morning, so we can't wait for it.
What you did last season, I saw at 442 did a piece about the club back in the Premier League, and you defied the nerds, Hull City. You conceded the joint fourth most goals in the division, and you had the second worst underlying defensive numbers. But what do the nerds know? Because thankfully it's so much more than that, isn't it? But I mean, it's quite interesting that, you know, normally you think the numbers tell the story. They don't always tell the whole story, do they?
Yeah, it sounds like my old mate Steve Bracknell now, the big YouTube guy. He's, what's football if it's not about scoring goals and stopping them going in at the other end and all that? But no, obviously it's certainly a game of data, much more than it's ever been. You are right. The XG last season and the goals conceded, etc. We came on the wrong side of in a lot of games. But something which, if there's any AI out there or something in the future to really get a gist of character and personality within the game and feeling a moment to go and take the game away from the opposition, even when you're under the cosh. We certainly did that more often than not last year. I think when you watch a boxing match, they get celebrated for doing that. They might be taking a good hiding every now and again, and then they swing the knockout and they win the fight.
Yeah.
That was something we were able to do last year. We had really good experience that have been there and done it. And we conceded a lot of possession at times, and yeah, we were certainly honest in our review of it. But what we did was we found a way to win, which is the most important thing. I'm going to have to do that again, of course.
Yeah, and it gets harder in the Premier League because it's so much. It's unforgiving, and you know, mistakes get punished, Dean, don't they?
Yeah, of course. You're dealing with it with the top level, and yeah, one chance in the Championship, as you say. You might be able to get back, or the keeper might be able to pull a save out. The Premier League is completely different. So, of course, we're aware of that. Hence the adding to the squad of the quality, and it's a new situation for a lot of people. Obviously the manager only came into English football last year, and we were candidates for relegation, remember, so we defied the odds last year, and certainly that'll be our belief and our sort of message to the players going into this season.
We saw with Sunderland last year, points on the board early really do help, don't they? You just need to get that first win and a few draws, and then you're away, I think.
Well, I mean, you think when Hull City came up under Phil Brown all those years ago, they did get a lot of points on the table. That fantastic start. Yeah, Andy's right. It does make a huge difference, doesn't it? If you do have a little fallow period, it's not always terminal, as you know, as other teams have proved in the past.
Yeah, I think that's as much for confidence and belief as anything. Certainly within our fan base and here at the training ground with the players and the group, I think it's just maintaining that confidence. I think we've looked at the points tallies of the last 10 years of what you need to stay in the Premier League, and unfortunately, I'll say this now before we've kicked a ball, you can have a lot of really disappointing Saturday nights, like weekends, where you've come on the end of a bad result. But as long as you get enough throughout the season to get over that line at the end of it, that'll be obviously the most thing. So it'll be about riding the bumps in the road as much as anything, and keeping the confidence within the group. I think will be really important.
Now, before you joined up with the manager, Sergei Djurkovic, last season, you had an encounter with him, I understand, on the touchline in Turkey, where despite the tail of the tape looking like, you were giving away a lot of height and reach, you squared up to him, Dean.
Yeah, it's well publicised. I'm still trying. I wish we had the footage. I've asked the photographer back at my old club to find. It'd be a brilliant picture, honestly. He was, as these foreigners do when they're trying to get, the old Dicanio when the fingers in the air. If anyone's listening in the car now and not watching on YouTube, it's the hands above the head, trying to the yellow card type thing. And I was sort of saying, "What are you doing? We don't do that." And I forgot I wasn't in England. I was in Turkey. So anyway, come marching over to our technical area, and all 6'5" of him. So that I had it was fight or flight, let's just say. And and it's not like rugby, is it, where punches are thrown? In football, there's never, it's a square up and a little bit of a cuddle, and that's the end of it. So I looked a bit of a tough guy. And joking aside, come the start of last season when he was looking for an English coach, etc., that had been a manager and championship experience, or someone that could help guide the team through the season. I was one of what I believe 3 candidates, and when the guys interviewed me, they remembered me from Adana Demirspor, which was a team that was on minus 20 odd points, well relegated before I even went there. So they appreciated, I think, the fact that I was fighting for 3 points in every game, which is not what they always do in Europe in their eyes. So I think that was a tick in the box for me. It went in my favour.
So that's a little cue. If you're a budding coach and you're looking to make it in the game, make sure you square up to any other managers to give you a fighting chance. So I believe the last time we did speak was with you and your wife Danielle about holding it together. You're behind the scenes, so you're having to balance everything going on at Hull City and getting back in the Premier League with having the cameras around the house filming you.
Yeah, to be honest, people have said to me all the time, have we got cameras in the wall? Is it a bit like one of them, like the Sunderland documentary back in the the guys, they probably come every 6 to 8 weeks. They were here on Wednesday, actually. We had a rare day off last Wednesday, so they came and they spend sort of 12 hours with us all day.
Yeah.
School run, cooking dinner, everything that entails, and they managed to put a load of footage. We film a lot of it ourselves at home when funny things actually are happening when the cameras are not there, and we pull it all together. So I think we're about 6 weeks into the project now. The kids love it, which is the most important thing. We're doing something as a family, which when guys listening in and parents listening into this who, our oldest is 19 and we've got a 17. When they get to that age, they start driving, you have a bit of a panic up, like they're going to move out and you're not going to see much of them. So it certainly brought us closer together, which is really, really nice. And obviously the YouTube lark is a numbers game, and we've got some lovely brands who want to get involved with Danielle's wellness and yoga and psychology side of it and the sports and stuff. But it's a numbers game. So if anybody is listening, make sure you hit the like and subscribe. I'm going to get hammered for saying that. That's going to go against me in the future. We do anything for likes. No, it is. It's a numbers game, but we're enjoying it. We certainly are.
And just finally, I saw Harry Maguire saying he's looking forward to linking up with Hull again in the game next week. He had some happy times there. And as we said at the top, it's the team you support, Manchester United. So I think we spoke to you on the day the fixtures came out. It's going to be a great buzz for you, isn't it? Oh, yeah. Being part of the coaching team, taking on Michael Carrick and his side.
Yeah, of course, the coaching staff we have huge respect for, and obviously, as I said before, one of the top clubs. Harry did a great job for this club, still loved by the supporters. It'd be quite surreal next Saturday morning, sort of travelling into the stadium. I've done the hard yards over the years and had to graft away, and finally managed to get to the Premier League. So I'm hoping it lasts longer than a season. So let's see. Yeah. Wish us well.
We do wish you well, Dean. I'm sure we'll catch up during the season. All the best for next week.
Cheers, fellas.
talkSPORT will be there. I'm sure Sam and the gang will be trying to grab whoever you're afterwards. So take it easy. Love to Danielle. Thanks very much.
Cheers, guys. Speak soon.
There's Dean Holden there, the Hull City assistant.
United have done pretty well in pre-season.
Yeah, they've been playing pretty well, haven't they? So we shall see. But it's good, lad, Dean. We hope it goes well for Hull. Leeds is the big derby, isn't it? They'll get a chance to play Leeds this season, which I think that the fans have been looking forward to. So, still to come, Clips of the week. Todd Macklin's back. The man that broke the mile record with a stroller last week, the world record, smashed it. And before that, though, we're talking Rangers beaten last night in Europe. It's not going well for Derek McInnes. Is the problem deeper than that? Stuart Weir believes it is. Our fine Scottish football correspondent, and he'll tell us more in a few moments' time. We're here, of course, with Toolstation. First stop for everything for the job from 7 a.m. Monday to Saturday. Start strong, start it right. First stop, Toolstation.
talkSPORT's Matt Scott, the guy you just heard doing the news there, talking absolute guff because he rattled some cages this morning on breakfast. He listed off the top 10 biggest clubs in the UK. He said Chelsea cheated their way to success, can't be in the top 10, and Spurs have never won a Champions League. So, and he's put them, he's not even in the top 10. They finished 17th for 2 seasons in a row. I think you've needs to remember that Nottingham Forest ain't been in the Premier League for about 15 seasons. So, anyway, Rory, we've asked you to do your top 10. What did you make just on Matt Scott's Chelsea not being in the top 10?
Yeah, I mean, look, before we get into this, I think it's important that I just establish something very clearly. Matt Scott is my friend.
Yeah.
He's somebody who I rate incredibly highly. I think he's got a huge future, and I like him. It is one of the worst things I've ever heard in my entire life, though. All of that being said, now I think we can just go for the jugular, be completely honest.
Yeah.
It gave me a migraine.
Yeah.
I feel like listening to that list, I've lost IQ points. Having heard that, I'm now thicker because it is the worst list I've ever heard of anything.
No, some bad takes on talkSPORT, and we're all likely to come out with some nonsense every now and then. And
you are. Speak for yourself.
No,
Danny.
you
Speak
are
for
as
yourself.
well.
No, speak for
and you
yourself.
know, you can back your argument, but when I heard Bill sent me the list, and I just was just like,
yeah, everything about the list, everything about the list was wrong.
There's clickbait, and then there's just you're talking absolute. Yeah,
it's like
ridiculous guff.
It's lunacy. It's like, should Matt Scott be reading the news, being on talkSPORT, or should he be in Broadmoor?
afternoon, it's Hawksbee Jacobs here on talkSPORT. Time to talk Scottish football and in particular Rangers, who were beaten last night by Jagiellonia, Bialystok und Bloom.
Yeah, exactly.
3-2 and on aggregate, and really with the game in their hands last night, contrived to go out of the Europa League, with Derek McInnes saying he feels that the team at the moment, the club are, but the team are not ready to compete at that level. Stuart Weir, Scottish football correspondent, in a heartfelt post today on X, called the performance last night cowardly. He joins us now. Hi, Stuart.
Hiya, guys.
Stuart, you make the point that this is not all on Derek McInnes. You're seeing similar things. You're seeing similar things now that you've seen under a good few coaches recently.
Yeah, the last four managers, Paul, Michael Beale, Philippe Clement, Russell Martin and Danny Roll, there was a real sort of lack of belief and a lack, I have to say, of trust in each other. You know, if you're going to be a successful team, you need to believe in those around you. And I just don't see any of that within this Rangers side. Since Rangers played in the Europa League final in 2022 and lost that in penalties, 3 days later, they then won the Scottish Cup, beating Hearts in extra time. I don't think this Rangers team currently would be capable of putting that amount of work in the matter of 3 days. They'd be lying down in a hospital ward somewhere. And I think that part of it is another thing that really angers Rangers fans, because they have grown up watching teams that really put an effort in, and there's none of this current squad actually look as if they're capable of that.
Is this then a failure? It's probably a failure of a lot of things, you can tell us, but it sounds from what you've said, it's a bit of a failure of recruitment, the kind of characters they've brought in, the balance of the squad, the makeup of the squad. But obviously, part of the job of subsequent managers is to get those performances out of those players, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, historically, you know that there's been really good players playing for different teams and just haven't managed to get a performance out of the actual team or win anything. This Rangers side, you know, last summer they spent a small fortune, actually spent a very large fortune in bringing in new players and recruiting new players. There's not a single match winner amongst them. This season, they've also brought in a few players. I would say Daisuke Yokota is probably the Japanese winger, was actually the brighter or the brightest player last night. But one guy coming in through the door isn't going to change your entire team. There needs to be a mindset change as well. And lo and behold, just as Rangers think they've spent $7 million on Kue Druch, I'm not quite sure. He hasn't stayed in the building long enough to find out how to pronounce his surname. That's how bad it is. It might actually be the Scots pronunciation of just being Drich. It certainly is for Rangers fans, because there they thought they were going to get a new winger. And lo and behold, he's now injured. Somebody said, yeah, he would be injured if he watched that last night, then threw himself down the stairs. I couldn't possibly comment on that. But the fact of the matter is that there's another name that's been linked with Rangers, and lo and behold, Rangers don't get their man and have to look elsewhere now.
Hearts were brilliant last season, and McInnes did a great job, but I always have a slight concern when you are the manager of one of these brilliantly data-led clubs, from Tony Bloom or Matthew Benham at Brentford. You know, when the manager goes somewhere else, it's not quite the same. They don't have that protection of data and backup. And I'm not saying anything against him, but it does happen.
Plus the fact the expectation is that much. I mean, this is the point I have to say, no disrespect to Hearts, but, you know, you have to be, this is one of the old firm clubs, although he knows the club and he's been there before, of course, but that's not the point, is it? Nothing quite prepares you for the pressure you're under.
Yeah, and Andy's point is well made there, actually. You can imagine somebody actually shouting out the cab, picking Derek McInnes up. Remember and bring your toolbox, you know, and that sealed envelope in your top drawer with the next players that you're going to sign. Yeah, I mean, I feel sorry for Derek McInnes. He does get what it is to be Rangers manager, but those that he's actually selecting just now, and I think really he's a real mishmash of players, those that he's actually invested in, and those that have been sort of remnants of previous regimes. And at some point, he has to actually manage to gel them together. I think one of the concerns for Rangers fans is they're not quite sure actually what system Rangers are playing. You know, you would have managers that previously that would play 4-4-2 3-5-2 or whatever it might be. Rangers almost go minute to minute, just changing their formation, and that can't help anybody either. But that might be down to a lack of personnel and certainly a lack of talent.
I put McInnes into X earlier on, and interesting the reaction to it. A lot of Rangers fans saying, "Let's cut our losses, change it now." But a lot saying, "Don't be daft. He's been there 5 minutes.
That's a bit
give him a chance." There is still a bit of time, of course, in the window to make that squad slightly more balanced. I mean, it's not a lot of time, so they're going to have to act quickly to, plug the issues and try and bring in some leaders. I mean, that's quite a lot of work to do in a couple of weeks, isn't it, really?
Yeah, it is. But then again, I think that is nothing to do with Derek McInnes. That then has to be part of the regime that's already there in terms of the recruitment. And as I said earlier, last season, Rangers spent a fortune. I mean, one example, Yusuf Chimite. I mean, Rangers apparently last week before the game against Hibs were offered 25 million for him by Galatasaray. Now, I did offer, again on X or Twitter, to actually gift wrap him and bring my own DHL van round and take him wherever he wants to go. The fact is that you would have taken that money because he hasn't shown anything. In flashes, he's been brilliant, but flashes ain't enough, especially when you're playing for Rangers.
Yeah. So, do you think he will survive it, Stuart? You think look, the board are so invested, they brought him in. This is not great reputationally for them. They have no choice but to back him, do they?
Yeah, they have to support him because you can't keep spending, money on new blazers and ties. You've got to, it's not as if one size fits all. I think they'll stick with him simply because they have to make a statement that this is a guy they've invested in and they trust. The players, that's another matter.
Yeah. Stuart, good stuff. Appreciate you joining us. Thanks very much.
All the best, guys.
Stuart, we're there on Rangers travails at the moment. It's not really happening for Shankland at the moment. Who's hard, so, look, there is
caller on breakfast this morning getting mad about him. Not happy.
I mean, look, there is plenty of time still, but if Celtic keep racking up the points, it comes down to the derbies constantly. Yeah, if they're in a bit of form by the time they come along, who knows? Anyway, still to come. We will salute and chat to the man that is the world record holder, broken last week. A mile record just been set with a stroller. Yeah. We'll tell you more about that. I suppose it's a joint record with his child as well, but we'll find out.
That's a good point.
Clips of the week. Tom Macklin joining us with American Sports Roundup. And we'll hear from the gaffers ahead of all the big games in the Championship and indeed the Community Shield this weekend. That's all to come.
There's a bit of housery about it, and since Cucurella's gone, I kind of like that housery.
Oh no, I think it's a great quality. I think if you're talking about a footballer strictly on the pitch here, and you use words like he's snide, he's snarling, he's aggressive. These are good words to use about a footballer. I want players to be like that. I think Chelsea have been a little bit too nice over recent years, and I think having somebody that is a little bit more on the front foot is a good thing. Enzo Fernandez, we've seen it. Like when he scored that goal against Paris Saint-Germain, he's running off towards their ultras, showing them the Club World Cup badge. Whenever we play Manchester United, he's got Mason Mount round the throat. Like he understands what Mason Mount's relationship with Chelsea fans is, and he leans into that. There are qualities to Enzo Fernandez, no doubt, but I 100% want him out of the club and 100% take the money.
Okay, Sean?
I totally agree. I do like him as a footballer, but his heart's not in it. And from the minute he started to tout himself around in terms of I want to play for Madrid, you know what? Guess what? Go. The player I want to see fit is Lavia. Now, when I don't think you remember between towards the end of December 2024, we almost went to the top of the league. And the reason why that is because Lavia was playing superbly. The one thing wrong with Lavia, when he injures an eyelash, he's out for about 6 months. So we need to keep him fit. And if we can keep him fit, when he was playing, we kept Fernandes wasn't even playing because they played Casado at right back, and he was the main man running the show. And when we went to Spurs and we turned them over, right, he was the main reason.
talkSPORT Sports Update with NordVPN. 24/7 digital privacy and protection in one easy-to-use app.
Good afternoon, I'm Max Scott here with your sports headlines. With Chelsea's 5 p.m. deadline for any offers on Enzo Fernandez, will Manchester City look to reunite him with his former boss, Enzo Maresca?
Not today, to be honest. I don't think we're going to do something today.
We'll keep you up to date throughout the day on any developments on that one. Elsewhere, we understand Arsenal are considering a move for Jarell Quansah. The Premier League champions had a bid rejected for his England teammate Ezri Konsa. We're told that was for £35 million, an offer which shocked Gabby Bonlahor and Sam Matterface.
He's the minimum 75 million.
Absolutely. Listen,
35 is like an insult.
I think he was England's best defender at the World Cup. I think his first name on the team sheet at Aston Villa. I mean, if I was Aston Villa, you're not selling him for anything less than 80 million
I'd
quid.
let his contract run down to 2 years.
As Arsenal look to bolster their backline, Mikel Arteta has confirmed Jurrien Timber will miss Sunday's Community Shield against Man City. We're also told Tottenham have agreed a fee for £30 million to sell Jed Spence to Inter Milan. The right-back is currently in Italy for a medical. And of course, the EFL is back tonight. We start with live coverage of the opening game of the season at Molineux. Wolves host Blackburn. Then tomorrow, the return of Around the Grounds with Adrian Durham and the gang. That'll include Portsmouth back at Fratton Park against QPR. John Mousinho's still in charge there and told us despite interest from Bristol City, he never wanted to leave Pompey.
I never asked to leave. I was really clear at the back end of last season that I don't want to leave. I want to make something of this football club because I think it's an amazing football club. I think we can properly build and get the club back to its former glories.
Get all the latest breaking news on our website at talksport.com.
talkSPORT News.
The government's banned disposable barbecue sales over their wildfire risk, and 2 charged over the attempted murder of Sarah Sharif's dad in prison.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit. This summer, treat yourself to Bridgestone Turanza All-Season 6 tyres with a 25,000 mileage guarantee. Book today at quickfit.com. Conditions apply.
Another sunny and very hot afternoon with some rain possible in Wales and the north and east of England.
Good afternoon, Paul Hawksbee, Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT. We're in the final hour of today's show. We will be chatting to Todd Macklin, his American Sports Roundup. The big US sports story of the week really is the LA Lakers being sold for the second time in 2 years for $12.5 billion.
Quite a lot of money.
Yeah, with that's quite a lot of money, I think that's fair to say. And some other weird and wonderful stories from the world of American sports. And also we'll hear from the gaffers ahead of the weekend's big games. And we'll have some clips of the week for you as well. But we're off to the States now for a start. I'd never heard of the Guardian Mile before, but it has a stroller division, allowing, I guess, mums and dads to take the kids on a little ride in a proper running stroller, not the sort of common or garden one. That would be too dangerous, as we're about to discover, because our next guest has smashed the mile record, along with his daughter Blake, of course, who deserves some credit, in the Guardian Mile in Cleveland. Stephen Biebelhausen joins us now. Hi, Stephen.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Yeah, we're good. I think Blake
Congratulations.
definitely deserves some credit.
Yeah, I mean, she was not just sitting there; she was kicking. She was giving it her all too.
Did she make herself sort of streamlined? So
Yeah, I just wondered if she
less
was
wind
was
resistant.
where you were telling her to sort of tuck up a little bit.
No, she was kind of spread out, but I mean,
Okay.
hey, I'll take what I can get. She was sitting there.
So yeah, is this the first time you've kind of run a competitive mile with a stroller, or are you an old hand at this?
No, that's the first time I've ever run that fast for that long. So we did a 5K kind of in the spring, but not fast.
Wow.
So I mean, you must be a regular good runner.
Yeah, I mean, I ran at college level, but never professional, anything like that. No, just kind of a what we would call the sub elite, behind all the elites, but a little bit ahead of everybody else.
Yeah. So what's your best time without the stroller?
4:04.
Oh, that's
4:04. That is pretty good. But 4:17 with a stroller. I mean, the previous record was set in California in 2025, 4:26. So you've taken a pretty sizable chunk off it. Were you looking for the record, or were you just going out to have a bit of fun?
Believe it or not, I was just going out to have a bit of fun. Yeah, I knew what the record was because I jokingly looked it up with my friends beforehand, but I did not think thought I was going to be in the 4:30s to 4:40s.
Wow. So
was it a street course? Or a track?
Yeah, so no, it was on the street. So it's up a bridge. You go up about 20, 30 feet, so about 10 meters, and then back down the same 10 meters. So it's just a mile-long bridge.
Oh, wow.
And how far behind were the person coming in second? Was there anybody near you? Did you have to dip for the line?
No, it wasn't that tight, but I mean, he ran a 4:32, so still pretty respectable time, especially with the stroller.
Yeah. Now, funny enough, there was a bit of research out of Penn State, which I read yesterday. This is what it says. You'll be interested in this, Stephen. This is people running with strollers are at a lower risk of injury compared with those who jog without one. The buggy forces a jogger to take shorter strides, lean forward more, and run at a slower, more consistent pace, although not in your case, obviously, while keeping their torso straighter with less twisting. This reduces the risk of overuse injuries, such as muscle strain, back and knee pain, shin splints, and tendonitis, say Penn State. So it's better for you. It's almost like running with a Zimmer frame.
I mean, I guess it seems harder. I don't know, but if the study says so.
Yeah, they seem to have phased out the fact you're probably pushing a child. Yeah, they've not worried about that in Pennsylvania for some reason. So, your daughter likes it, doesn't she? I was reading at Runner's World, who spoke to you, that when she sees the proper runner's stroller come out, and we'll come back to that in a moment, she gets quite excited. You know, she's going out on a little jaunt.
Oh, yeah. When I load her up in the car and I load up the stroller, she's screaming and squealing for joy. And then we kind of pull into one of our favorite spots, and it'll be the same thing until I get her in the stroller and we get going. And then she usually settles down. I mean, that race, she was having a blast the whole time, but usually she just settles down and, looks at nature. She'll squeal for some dogs or something like that. But,
we should point out at this stage that you do need a proper runner's stroller, don't you? Because they're designed differently. They have that big front wheel. It's not really just safe to take the one you're going to promenade around the park in and sort of set off and try and do a sort of 4:17.
Yeah, you really want to lock the front two wheels. Otherwise, they can kind of turn on you and you can tip forward. So that front wheel is really, really important. I have a 3-1, but they make some that are 4. But as long as those front two wheels are locked so that you can only go straight pretty much, that's what you really need.
I wonder how Jacob Ingebrigtsen or Josh Kerr would get on with a stroller. I wonder how much.
Yeah, you can introduce it into the Olympics.
Are you interested if it's an Olympic event?
I mean, if I get invited, I'll go. I'd probably get smashed by those two, but it's I'll go. I'll show up.
You're watching some footage, so you're not aware. You kind of probably wasn't aware of the time you were doing. You were just running, weren't you? I guess, or were you keeping an eye on the
running
clock?
Fast, you can see you're running fast.
It's a little hard to look at your watch when you're also pushing a stroller. So they had a clock at halfway that I saw. I think I was 2:12. So I knew I was going way faster than I expected to be at that point. But luckily, it's all downhill from there. So
Yeah, indeed. So
there's no weight limit on the child, right? There's no sort of restrictions.
Well, when Blake's 16, she probably won't be quite as keen to get in the stroller, will she? I wouldn't think.
yeah, I mean, they invited me back next year, but I mean, right now she's like 20 pounds, and she's going to be a lot bigger next year. So we're in trouble.
Good stuff. Well, Stephen, good to talk. Congratulations. You are a world record. You and Blake are world record holders, and that is something special. However long it lasts for, you'll always have that, won't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, good to talk to you.
Lovely if you're watching on Connect TV. The baby's really enjoying it.
It's a baby really is, and Blake is really enjoying herself there. Yeah. Thank you, Stephen. Thank you.
All right, thank you, guys.
That's Stephen Biebelhausen there, who is the fastest man over a mile in the world with a stroller. So, as we said, make sure if you're going to do that and run with the kids, make sure it's a proper stroll. Don't tip it out the side or whatever. It's dangerous just to sort of take off on that fold-up one in the back of the car. So, just be aware of that. So, not that we asked for these. I meant to say Rodri earlier on, and I said Rodney. So suddenly the talkSPORT Great Unwashed started coming up with only Fools and Horses related footballers. Deli Boyali. Deli, but Adam, it kind of works.
No, not really.
Emerson Boycey. Oh, well
that's
done.
good.
That's from Paul in Hemel. The former Wigan fullback, Kieran Triggier. That's not bad. Didn't put your name on it, though. So, go on, if you want to, this Friday, we can bring in games. If you want to do any more of those, you only Fools-related footballers, talksport.com, text 81089, tweet TSH and J, and we'll try and squeeze them in before the end of the show. But Todd Macklin is back after the World Cup summer hiatus.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's almost American football, American sport generally didn't stop during that period, of course. But we won't recap on everything. We'll look at some of the big stories of the week. There was a big serious story and a few other maybe not so serious stories, which we'll be running past you with Todd Macklin in a few moments' time. Just a reminder that Darren Bent has returned. He was alongside Jamie O'Hara yesterday, and he's back today for Drive. We'll have Adrian Durham, your host for Wolves Blackburn this evening. Max Scott and Carlton Cole taking your calls after the opening championship game of the season. And don't forget tomorrow, weekend sports breakfast with Shaban and Tony Cascarino from 6. So lots of live football this weekend in the championship and beyond, and of course Community Shield. We're here with our very good friends at Toolstation. First stop, Toolstation.
What, €1 for one prem?
Yeah, all right. Yeah,
two.
Obviously.
You're swapping 2, Jay. You are.
I don't know.
Jay, you are.
Maybe 2. Don't know, though. Like, them nights as a final, you've been in cup finals. Them nights, you never give them
Jay,
up.
I've been 2. And do you know what? I don't want to bring it up, You cost me one of them.
What do you mean I cost you one of them?
You missed the pen. So
Hold on. Wait, hold on. I didn't see you taking one.
I said to Harry, I'll take one.
No.
5.
No. Let's have this out. Don't be blaming me for your Carabao Cup loss, all right? Because I took the first pen and Darren Bent was nowhere to be seen.
And listen, I'm going to tell you the exact truth of what happened.
No,
At the time, I was a penalty taker. I said to Harry, I'll take 1. He said, no, you take 5. I went,
no, Robin King took 5.
No, I was supposed to take 5.
Right.
And he said, you took 1. So it never got to me. I never got to take 1.
Yeah, but the 5th penalty on that night was Robbie King.
No, it's me.
Nah, you're lying.
Ask Keno. I don't know if you can remember, but...
Nah, you're lying.
I was 5.
You're lying.
I was a penalty taker at the time. So
why don't you take 1?
Because I said to Harry, he said, no, 5.
Nah, I disagree, mate. I think you bottled it.
Hey, listen. Have you seen the pen, Bill?
I did not cost you a Carabao Cup.
You did, mate.
Where were you in the 90 mins?
That could have been 2, mate. That could have been 2 for me. But no. Cheers, Jake.
That still haunts me, that does.
Does it?
Yeah, it hurts my feelings. I think about it a lot.
Ben Foss had the game of his life, mate.
Yeah.
He won man of the match that game as well.
Mate, it hurts. That game's on as well all the time. They play that game a lot. It's such a bad game.
Do you know what, right? I don't really like giving you credit, but I felt for you in the first one because you were playing well in that period.
Oh, I know.
And he left you out completely.
Yeah,
I felt for you in that.
Yeah, that hurt my feelings.
Well, what with the World Cup and all, we have not heard that music for a few weeks yet. Take Me Out of the Ball Game signals the return of our man on American sports, Todd Macklin. Good to see you, Todd.
Good to see you guys.
Yeah, do you enjoy Canada in the World Cup, Todd? Did you catch many of their games?
I did. Yeah, listen, I think it was a great World Cup for Canada. Right, not only qualified, had an extra knockout round game too. So, listen, there weren't too many countries that left the World Cup feeling as good about themselves than Canada. I mean, obviously outside of the winner, but I mean, listen, I just think the best is yet to come. That's how kind of Canada and Canadian fans view the soccer team, football team moving forward.
He was quite annoying though, wasn't he, Jesse March?
Well, he can't. There is something a bit irritating about him, but he did a good job. He did a good job. Now, the big story of the week, Todd, which came out of left field, was the Lakers being sold for the second time in 2 years. There's this federal probe into Mark Walter, the current owner, and he has sold it. He sold it for a profit, hasn't he? I believe. So yeah. This has blindsided people, I guess, in the world of American sport, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think we all kind of watch these shows about people that buy a home and then flip it for a profit, right? They build it up a bit and they flip it for a profit. You're right. Mark Walter got the Lakers. Well, I don't know. Would he have them in less than 2 years? And flipped them for a $2.5 billion profit. Wow. So that's a pretty good fixer-upper, right? What he did with the Lakers. Yeah, I think it blindsided people. The two guys, the two new owners apparently were looking at an expansion team for Vegas. So that seems to be a certainty that Vegas is going to get an expansion team in the NBA. It just won't be those two guys as the owner. And then I guess word came that the Lakers would possibly be for sale. And listen, there's a big focus. Mark Walter made his money in insurance, and there are some federal investigations about those companies that Mark Walter owns. So people are speculating, did he need money? And that's why all of a sudden, less than 2 years after buying the Lakers, he's flipping them. And the other thing that really jumped out is the value of the franchises. So in 2025, the Celtics were sold for $6 million. And here the Lakers go for 12.5, so double it. Because, for so many people, they talk about the NBA and they talk about the Lakers and Celtics as if they are basically the same. They're not. The Celtics may have won more championships, but man, the Lakers are worth double what the Celtics. It's just an incredible amount of money.
I mean, we're talking about the moment this buy-in from Jeff Bezos and a consortium looking to buy shares into Liverpool, and they're saying the value of the club then is going up to $6 billion. So we're talking about under half what the Lakers have just sold for. I mean, football, even at the top, has got a lot of catching up to do with the big American franchises, isn't it?
Yeah, because I think even the Dallas Cowboys, the obviously when something like this happens, right, you kind of focus on other sports, other franchises. And again, you're worth what someone will pay for you, right? Like, the Lakers were probably not valued at $12.5 billion, but obviously someone paid that much money for them. But the number I've heard is the Dallas Cowboys at $15 billion. And they're seen as the most valued franchises. And again, the Cowboys have barely won a playoff game in the last 3 decades, and haven't won a Super Bowl since 1996. So it's incredible that a team that hasn't won has that kind of value in the Cowboys.
Can you make money at this? Because I mean, they always say about football clubs, you can't really make any money running them, no matter how much you pay for it. Is that different in
How'd you turn a profit? I mean, obviously, Mark Walter has turned a profit by selling it again. Maybe that's the way you build it up. He didn't even have to build it up. He barely had to touch it for 2 years, did he, really, I guess?
Yeah, and to Andy's question, I'm not sure. I'm not a real numbers guy, but I just think, the leagues, these franchises have just skyrocketed in value, and a lot is the leagues and the television money that's being pumped into this. And I say television, that's changed now. Now it's the streaming, right? Now that you've got the Amazon Prime and the Netflix money, which is really taking it to just an absolutely different level in how valuable these sports franchises are.
Now, on to baseball. And I'm sure a lot of the listeners listening today, if they love sports movies, will remember Field of Dreams, the Kevin Costner movie, Build It and They Will Come and all that. This after a 4-year hiatus, the Field of Dreams game is back. They go to MLB, to Dyersville, Iowa, to the site where the film was made, the cornfield, and they play a game there. This was the Phillies and the Twins. And it's just a beautiful thing. The pictures, we're showing some of the pictures now on screen. People should go and check them out. It's just a lovely thing to do. Once again, you've got the players, past and present, from both teams emerging from the cornfield as they did in the film. I think American sport gets nostalgia right. Certainly in football in this country, the Premier League is so worried about upsetting the sponsors. We don't have throwback weekends in case they were wearing an Adidas kit at that time. And they're just so disappeared up their backside so much. I think people quite like in sport, fans like nostalgia, but we don't really get a chance to see it. But they do it differently in American sport, especially in baseball, don't they?
100%. And they had, 30 Hall of Fame players come out of the cornfield, right? A la that happens in the movie. Sorry if that was a spoiler alert for some people. And then they had the game. You got two teams that are fighting for a playoff spot. You had Kyle Schwarber, one of the big home run hitters currently in baseball, hits a couple home runs into the cornfield. I'm going to laugh as I say this. The game was on Netflix as we're talking about money and nostalgia. But listen, it's just another vehicle to get it to the fans. And it was a wonderful, I watched the game. I watched it on Netflix. It was just a wonderful experience to see. And the players absolutely enjoyed it, being in that environment.
Yeah, no, it's good. I didn't know it was on Netflix. I'm going to go and check that out and watch it back tonight. I've only seen sort of still images and some highlights, but it does look great. Also in baseball, White Sox had a themed promotional evening, Pope's Hat. Because Pope Leo is a White Sox fan, all the fans who went to the game were given like a pontiff's hat, the big, tall, sort of mitre style hat. So you're not going to get a great deal of wear out of that after the game, Todd, I wouldn't think.
Well, and listen, unless the White Sox keep winning, and that's a crazy thing to say, the White Sox winning. Guys, we've talked a lot about how bad the Chicago White Sox have been. You look at the last 3 years, they've lost over 100 games the previous 3 seasons. 2 years ago, they lost a record 121 games. But this year, they are a first-place team. Wow. And listen, which is not in a not great American League Central, but hey, they're in first place. So something, I don't know, magical is happening with the White Sox. So listen, if they go on to the playoffs, my sense is people are going to be wearing those hats. Even though they lost the game that they were given out at, they will become a thing if the White Sox keep winning and make the playoffs.
Yeah, very briefly, have you seen the Mets pitcher, Jeffrey Yan? Have you seen this guy?
Yes.
When he delivers a strikeout, he makes this most exaggerated jump.
It's like a kind of Spider-Man landing that he does after every pitch, doesn't he?
Yeah, not sure how long this is going to last. People don't like to be shown up, and hitters and teams get very thin-skinned when things don't go well. So I'm very curious to see how long this will last before a teammate says, "Hey, don't do that," or we're going to see a fastball at our back or our helmet because the other team is upset by this.
Now, we often talk about trading cards in this slot and on the show because it's becoming big business. Cooper Flagg, who's Rookie of the Year in the NBA, there was a special card in boxes of cards that people paid, I think, $515 for the right to open and see if they would get the Willy Wonka golden ticket. Well, some collector did. It's a 1-of-1 Cooper Flagg rookie. He's got his debut patch actually on the card. He signed it as well. And so for $515, and there was a chance you could have got nothing for that, which is a sizable amount of money, about sort of 420 quid or whatever. But $5 million they are now saying this could go for, which is nuts. I mean, say life-changing money, Todd.
It absolutely is. And yeah, I think it's on some sort of auction. And the last I saw was the current value was over $3 million. But as you say, there's an expectation it could go up to $5 million. Like the Mavericks offered whoever got the golden ticket, the Mavericks were offering 2 premium seats for 32 years. And amongst, a number of other things, autograph, Cooper Flag stuff and whatever. And there's no way that's going to be worth, $3 to $5 million. So yeah, it's just incredible how, the skyrocketing value of these rookie cards and these rookie patches with the autographs. And it's just taken it to such another level.
It's like a lottery win. It's amazing. Now, and finally, Todd, this was a story of a young high school footballer who was at practice and felt there was some kind of movement in his football helmet. Well, this is a bit weird. Took it off, and they kind of looked into the lining of it, wondered what was going on, and found a venomous cottonmouth snake.
Oh, no.
We're showing some footage of it now if people are watching on YouTube, and they put the helmet in water, trying to entice the snake up to the surface so they can catch it. But the kid was fairly stoic about it. He just said, okay, fair enough. Just put another helmet on, checked it, and just carried on with the practice.
Yeah, I am not a snake person. That would have I would not have been back practicing after that. Incredible that it was in the helmet for an hour before this kid took it off and went to one of the coaches or equipment managers and just said, hey, something feels weird. And then they discovered the snake. And as you say, venomous, like incredible. We talk about lottery, these cards are becoming lottery winners. That's a lottery to not get bitten by a venomous snake that's in your helmet for an hour.
You got a snake sitting on your head for an hour and it doesn't bite you. Yeah, either that or the Cooper Flag card. Yeah, what's the biggest win? Todd, good to have you back. We'll catch up with you next week. Thanks very much.
See you, boys.
There we are. There's Todd Macklin, our man on American sports. Still to come. The clips of the week. We're going to hear from some of the managers. Mikel Arteta has been chatting to the press out of the key Community Shield, of course. Enzo Maresca, we'll hear from him. And indeed a number of the top managers from the Championship and beyond as the EFL gets underway. Just a reminder tonight, live EFL action from 7. Adrian Durham, your host at Molineux, for Wolves Blackburn with Jim Proudfoot and Dean Ashton, your commentary team.
Who's winning the title?
Don't know. I don't know. I want to know what you think of this because I haven't got a clue. I really haven't. I think it's one of the most hardest calls to make we've had in recent years.
The thing is about Manchester City, I wonder without Pep how different it'll be.
Yeah, and if they lose Rodri.
Exactly. You wonder what it's going to be like,
but
then you never write them off. Arsenal, I think, look like the most complete team.
Gabriel injured though for 5 months.
For 5 months.
And Trossard going out. I don't like the Trossard sale. I really don't. I think he's such a big, influential player for them. I can't believe they've sold him.
I know, but then Guimaraes came on in.
Big signing. Like him a lot.
But then I also look at Manchester United and I wonder, but Chelsea, I think, Jason's right. I don't think we should be sleeping on it at all.
No. We could have a 5 or 6 horse race this season. Yeah. That would be incredible. It really would. I don't want to see somebody run away with it.
Go on then, though. But Jason looked down the camera and delivered that it will be Chelsea.
I know.
So who is it, Ben? Put your neck on the line.
I'm going to say Man United. I do. I think Man United. I think the last season's form has set into motion a style of play and an expectation of what them players have to deliver week in, week out for Manchester United.
But they've got Champions League. They're back in Champions League.
They're back in Champions League.
I think they've got enough.
I think if they can add another one or two, Man United are definitely within a shout. But they need to add one or two big uns. But the problem nowadays is if you're going to add one or two big uns, then it's 200 million quid. Liverpool need a couple big uns.
However, I mean, we do know that Manchester United look like they have something left to spend.
Life after football. For a lot of players, it means going into punditry. Some turn to coaching or working in the game in other ways. But what about the rest? Some former footballers turn their sights away from the game, and there are a few big surprises. First up, from rainbow flicks to pancake flips. Ex-Chelsea and Southampton defender Ken Monku switched up his footballing career to buy a Dutch pancake house. Next, Everton legend Thomas Gravesen swapped out the high stakes of the Premier League for those of the poker room. Turned out the Danish international was pretty darn good at poker. He racked up a reported £100 million from his Las Vegas adventures. Remember former Chelsea goalkeeper Petr Cech? Turns out football nets weren't the only goals he was pretty handy in front of. After retirement, he became a goaltender in ice hockey. Same skills, very different surface. It's not all glamour for ex-pros, though. 1966 World Cup winner Ray Wilson set up a very different kind of business. He became an undertaker after he retired. Finally, not many people can say they've won both a World Cup and starred in an Oscar-winning film. In fact, there's only one person in the entire world who can say that. Frank Leboeuf had already begun acting on the side while he was playing football, and his biggest role came some years after his retirement when he landed the part of a doctor in the Stephen Hawking biopic The Theory of Everything. To be honest, with all the dramatic diving in the game these days, there's probably tons of ex-pros who've got the acting skills to make it in Hollywood.
Clips of the week on talkSPORT with Toolstation. First stop, Toolstation.
talkSPORT Clips of the Week.
Yes, Clips of the Week time. I've got a nice tidy 10 for you. And Andy, why don't you get us underway?
Yes, we kick off this week with Alan Brazil on breakfast. Clearly not massively bothered about this week's solar eclipse.
See the queues in London for these stupid glasses. Oh, dear.
So rate it,
Are we
Alan.
thick as shit? Are we...
It was incredibly underwhelming.
He didn't actually say it. He recovered. He did recover.
It was less of an eclipse than a sort of dimmer switch.
Yeah.
It was really terrible.
That's right, yeah. It was apparently almost the word on everyone's lips this week. This is Shabanahan talking Rangers.
There's a clip going round from last night. I don't know if you've seen this, Rangers fans, and where you stand on it, but saying that it's an unpopular opinion. They should get James Tavernier on the phone. I mean, your man's just left a couple of months ago, and what was a shoddy, shady send-off?
Shaban with a shoddy, shady send-off.
That's good, isn't it?
But she did recover.
Now, this is Max Scott discussing Chelsea.
The owners have been criticised for Chelsea becoming essentially a Treya Plading system for young players.
Oh, yeah, Treya Plading says, I blame Bod Toley.
Yes, indeed. He's the worst of the Treya pladers. It's a bit Stanley Unwin, isn't it? This one for the kids.
So, yeah.
Also talking about the Blues this week, our old mate Alan Pardew.
Alonso, I really love. I think he'll be a fresh of air at Chelsea.
Lovely fresh of air.
Well, I hope so.
Yes. You're looking for a fresh of air at Chelsea, aren't you?
Very much so, yeah,
Yes.
after last year.
Yeah.
Here's Perry Groves with a rather surprising worldview.
No, but you've got to use your power. It's no good having power if you don't abuse it.
There we are. Future dictator, of
Quite a
course.
lot of right politicians that think that.
President Groves. What about that? Wasn't expecting that from Perry. Back to breakfast, and you may recall Big Alan struggling with a new Newcastle manager last week.
Newcastle are close to appointing. This is is it Yesela?
You what?
Yaisla. I've heard so many different pronunciations. Yaisla.
Yeah, I've not heard Yesela as a pronunciation. I think obviously producer Ollie in his ear saying Yaisla, and Alan just went Yaisla. Yeah.
Well, we're sure he'd have cracked it by this week.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, good luck, Matthias. Yesley. Yesley. Is it Yesley?
I don't know.
Yesley.
Yesley Crowther.
Yesley Phillips.
Yeah. Marvellous. This is Will Hobbs with some Liverpool financial news.
Consortium involving Bezos, Facebook co-founder Eduardo Zaffarin, and former QPR owner Ahmed Bhatia is close to agreeing a 30% stake. It would be one of football's richest ever deals, valuing Liverpool at $6 billion.
So is it $6 billion Donalds or is it $6 billion Donners?
6 million.
That's a lot of kebabs. That's a lot of kebabs. That's a lot of kebabs. That's a lot of salad, a lot of chili sauce, garlic.
$6 billion
sauce.
Donalds, because his face is on the banknotes.
Yeah,
now, so they probably
you could probably call it. It's a Donald. Yeah, $6 million Donalds. That would probably work. All the salads. What's next, Andy?
Just time for a quick music quiz with Alan Brazil and Gabby Agbon-Lahore.
9:52. Who sang this then? Big Mouth.
Madonna.
Madonna? He's not going to be getting a show on Virgin, is he, Gabby, if Alan ever has a holiday from that. And finally, it's this week's Carry On TalkSport with Shaban. We had a lot of people who sent this in.
Yes.
If we said thanks to everybody who sent it in, we'd be here for about 3 hours. So I think we had to make a few sort of cuts, really, to the list of thank you. But you know who you are.
Yeah.
It is Shaban Ahern chatting to the former England keeper, Ben Foster.
Forward to the eclipse tonight. It's been decided there's going to be a family barbecue.
Oh, nice. I do a barbecue every night. I showed you a picture of my meat earlier, didn't I?
Dirty boy, Ben. Goodness sake. Anyway, we should thank Steve W., Dave Wright, Andrew West, Jonesy, Peter Harrison, Tom Clayton, Glyn Barrington, Dav Mendy, Kev Burgess, and many others who sent in the one with Shaban and Ben Foster. If you hear a clip on TalkSport over the next 7 days, please do send it in to us, talksport.com/H&J. You can text it to 81089. You can tweet to TSH&J. We just need, as we always say, a day and a time when you heard it go out. It can be on our sister stations or on any of the stations, on Virgin, on Times, on TalkSport 2, Talk Radio, whatever. We'll listen to anything, and if it's played, you'll get a credit as much as we can possibly do so with the time we have. So that's it, really. If you want to hear them again, you can get the H&J Clips of the Week podcast, wherever you get your podcasts, or on the TalkSport app. And you should definitely download the TalkSport app at the moment with all the live football. You can swipe between the live games on TalkSport and TalkSport 2 and all the chat and all the shows. So this is definitely the time to do it, ahead of the Championship and the Premier League. And we'll have the H&J Daily podcast coming up a little bit later on. We had a lovely story of a couple who love the Wrexham documentary so much that they're moving to Wrexham from Texas. We had a good chat with them. We'll also speak to the world mile record holder with a buggy, and he joined us a little bit earlier on. And all manner of other stuff besides in the H&J Daily podcasts. And you get those wherever you get your podcasts. So that was the clips of the week. Yeah, something went wrong.
Volumes, these levels.
No, something went wrong with my microphone just now. It's very odd. I've not touched anything. I'm just fair enough. I'm dipping in and out for some reason.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Where was I? Yeah, so that was with
Brian Linford of Pontefract.
Clips of the week. I'm touching now at me. It's just all happening around me.
Shouting for
what we often find is engineering like to tinker when we're on. They don't do it any other show.
No,
they just save it. They just try and mess with our heads.
Their other favourite thing is when they have to do some adjustments to the studio. They
kick us out of the studio.
This show.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'm quite worked out right. Just the 26 years of being dispensable. Marvellous. So, there we are. That was the clips of the week with Tool Station. And we're going to hear from some of the managers shortly. There was some sad news in the world of football. We haven't had a chance to talk about it. It's of an era that Andy and I know very well. The great Jimmy Rimmer has died today. A fantastic goalkeeper for a number of clubs. A man destined never to even play or finish a European Cup final because he was on the bench, wasn't he, in '68? And he had to go off for Nigel Spink when Villa won it. Then took over. I mean, talk about big shoes to fill. Went to Arsenal after Bob Wilson retired and made the shirt his own. But he was one of those, it was like an old school keeper. You know, he was the sort of guy that he wouldn't have had a Louis Vuitton wash bag. It was just no messing. He was just an old school goalkeeper and a fantastic goalkeeper as well. And I'm sure a lot of the fans who watched him during that era from the 60s into the 70s at all of his clubs will be sad to hear the news today. It is Hawksbee and Jacobs here on talkSPORT, and we will be, hearing from the managers ahead of the Community Shield and indeed the start of the EFL in a few moments' time. We're here as always with Tool Station. Only got time for one stop. First stop, Tool Station.
Honestly, I've seen a few messages today and you go, yeah, that O'Hara and Gabby are talking rubbish, need to get rid of them. You know, Rory talks sense. I'm like, having a laugh.
Yeah, that was me. That was me saying that. Yeah. I've been commenting. I've been God, those two have been terrible. Look at those two giggling away.
Brennan Johnson, listen, fair play to him. He had a little bite. And that's fine. Got no problem with a player having a bite back because it's all part and parcel of working in the media, being a footballer. You're going to take criticism. He obviously didn't like the fact that we said it was crap for crap. What he didn't realise, and I'm sure...
That's weird of him, isn't it?
Yeah, obviously he's not going to like that. But, it was only a bit of a laugh. But, I get it. People are going to... You get the ump with things. I've been called crap plenty of times. Get called crap every single day of the week. Don't take it personal. All right? It is what it is. He has been crap.
Yeah, I think that's
like,
the point.
I'm sorry, but, I'm not saying he's a bad player. Anyone who plays Premier League football, anyone who does what he's done, fair play. Brilliant. Last season, Brennan Johnson was crap.
Yeah.
He would be the first to admit it. And hopefully he goes to Everton and he does all right. And Dwight McNeil goes the other way. I like Dwight McNeil. I think he's a good player. His stats is what we were talking about on the show, me and Gabby, were crap.
Yeah.
So there's no apology needed. I know Gabby bottled it like he always does.
He blamed you. He said it was you.
He tried to throw me under the bus. Not the first time. Won't be the last. But I'll stand by it.
Yeah.
Nothing against Brennan Johnson.
I think you're right.
He's got all the attributes to be a decent player.
Yeah, I think
last
you're right.
season, he was crap.
It's Hawksbee and Jacobs here on talkSPORT. We'll be handing over to Jamie O'Hara and Darren Bent very shortly with Drive. First, Andy.
Yeah, talkSPORT listener Andrew James has got in touch with me. He says, could I give a mention to Kevin Magnay? He's doing the Arch to Arc Enduroman Challenge. I presume that's from Marble Arch to the Arc de Triomphe.
Yes, I guess.
Running, that's right, from Marble Arch to Dover, swimming the channel, and then running the rest of the way.
Wow, impressive.
Very impressive. So he has a Just Giving page, and it'd be nice if you could get behind him.
Absolutely, yeah. Best of luck to him. That sounds great. So let's turn then to the weekend's big games. The Community Shield, of course, on Sunday in Cardiff, and also the big games in the EFL. We're going to kick off with Mikel Arteta after winning the league last season. He spoke ahead of the game against City in the Community Shield and talked about their ambitions for this season.
That's what we're going to try to do. We're going to have a really strong opponent, but we are really excited to start the season, to start with the first trophy as well. And I sense a really good energy around the place. All the internationals are back, and we can't wait to start competing.
Yeah. They've recruited pretty well, and it sounds like they've still got some business to do, haven't they? They're building a very strong side. If they
got Osimhen, that would take them, I think, to the next level.
Yeah,
Champions
League.
League.
Penny for old Yorkerez's thoughts if Osimhen comes in.
Yeah, well, they need it. I mean, I think they'll win the league. I do. I can't see anybody finishing above them, but we'll wait and see. But it's the Champions League they're going to want, I think.
Yeah,
anything.
Exactly. That's going to be a big focus next year. Enzo Maresca, the new Manchester City boss, has been, of course, talking about that deadline and the links to Enzo Fernandez.
No, in this moment, again, I have to give you the same answer since day one, and will be always the same. It's a player from another club, and I don't think it's correct to speak about other players. In the same time, I don't think it's correct when other clubs they speak about our players. So that's why I'm not going to say nothing about players that they are not with us.
Okay, fair enough.
Understandable.
Yeah,
it's the stock answer from managers, really, isn't it?
It always is.
Have they still got a clock on Sky News? Because it's only an hour and how long? Hour and 10 minutes.
And if I was City and I did want him, I'd deliberately make a point of coming back on Monday and saying, all right, here it is. What are you going to do about it?
So is the idea that Chelsea will then say, oh, no, that 120 is off the table. He's now 130. Because they're not going to get that for him from anybody else. No, if he goes abroad, they're not going to get anything like that, are they?
Nothing.
You're only going to sell to another Premier League club to get anything like that money.
Madrid, they might get 80, I think, max.
Yeah.
Maximum. No, look, judging by the way, if you judge it that Elliot Anderson, he's a very, very good player, but he's probably achieved less in his career than Fernandes, and he was 120 million. So you can understand why Chelsea want that money. We'll see.
Are you sorry to see him go or not?
To be honest, it's a difficult one. I don't know. I mean, I do like him as a player, but I'm not sure that, I think they could do better, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So West Ham take on Burnley this weekend, back in the Championship. Nuno Espirito Santo sat down with West Ham supporting talkSPORT's very own Moose, Ian Abrahams, and chatted about the influence that one of his key players has on the rest of the squad.
He's the captain of the club. He means a lot. He's talented, amazing player, amazing person. It's an example for all of us. So having him staying committing, it's the way that we want our players to be, totally committed to the club. Jared is a good example. Means a lot for us.
You got to guess his name.
I don't know if that was a quiz, but was it Jared Bowen? I think it clearly was Jared Bowen, of course, wasn't it? Yeah. I mean, it's true, though, isn't it? If you're a West Ham player, if you're one of the other guys in that dressing room and you know that he could go in, within reason anywhere he liked, and he's stayed for one more. I know he's frightened of his father-in-law. Of course not. That's nothing to do with it. But that's not the point, is it? He has stayed at the club to try and get him back
up. He's done what we call doing the right thing.
Yeah. But I mean, that is quite old school. You don't see a lot of that in football anymore, do you? So, well done to him. And I think, he could easily be top scorer in the division next year.
Very, very surprised if they don't win the league.
Yeah, they should bounce back.
Yeah.
Tony Mowbray, who's gone viral today with his love of chocolate bars via the EFL website and the real in-depth knowledge of chocolate and how fiercely committed he is to it.
Very much.
Was on Drive last week, not talking about chocolate for a change, but he was talking about what Blackburn Rovers, his club, need to get back up this season.
Just actually this morning, I was up at 4 o'clock this morning from Zurich. I've been meeting the owners in Switzerland just yesterday and trying to appeal about, needing a little bit of help and financial help to put Blackburn back where we need to be, more competitive in the Championship and give ourselves a chance. The playoffs go down to 8th this season, and so can we sneak in? We look at what Hull City did last year from a 21st position finish only 2 years ago to find themselves in the Premier League, and so it can be done. You recruit well, you coach well, you have a team, like I said, who run through brick walls for you, then you can achieve in the Championship, even though it looks a really, really tough league this season.
I like Tony's new look. I've noticed that he's got this kind of, is it a Nehru jacket? He looks like Bumble when he's doing the IPL.
He does.
Or is it a kind of sleeveless fleece? I don't know what it is, but I like Tony's new look.
It's good to see him back, though.
Yeah, absolutely. It's good to see him back. He'll always, for me, be the man. When we did a big feature in 90 minutes, and we put the magazine to bed, and we said, Tony Mowbray is Middlesbrough Football Club. And then by the time the magazine had come out, he'd gone to Celtic. Life comes at you quick.
Well, that's the way it is. Sheffield United boss Chris Wilder spoke about how he shares the fans' frustration at the lack of transfer business so far this window.
Certainly work to be done in recruitment. We're light in a couple of positions. We understand that. And I do get the frustration as well, Rob, that what people want to see signings come in. We're working really hard. We're a little bit disappointed that we've missed out on a couple, but we're missing out on good players. But the work continues on the training ground, heading towards the weekend, and on the recruitment in terms of getting us in a better place for Birmingham and before the window shuts.
There we are, this Chris Wilder. So just a reminder of all the live football for you this week. And gets underway tonight, Wolves versus Blackburn. Then Bolton Preston tomorrow lunchtime, exclusively live on talkSPORT. Game Day Live is back with Adrian Durham, Dean Ashton, Lucy Ward from 2:30. All the goals, they're going in the EFL. And Borough Lincoln is live over on talkSPORT 2 from 3. So many live games, so many games. Then Blades versus Birmingham City, that's at 5:30, and then Watford Southampton, Burnley West Ham, Cardiff Wrexham on Burnley West Ham, is that right? Yeah, Cardiff Wrexham on Monday. So I'm getting confused, and then Arsenal City, of course, in Cardiff in the Community Shield. So loads and loads of live games. Do you see that footage of Chris Wilder taking penalties at
with Bamford.
Yeah, Patrick Bamford. I think Patrick was letting a few in, wasn't he? Get that increase, get a new contract. I think he was slinging himself into the corner.
That's true.
So that is us. We will reconvene on Monday when we'll have a lot of knee-jerk reactions to the results in the EFL,
Very
I'm
much
sure.
so, yeah.
Until then, of course, have a great weekend. Enjoy all the return of the domestic football here on talkSPORT. Coming up next, to build up to all of that and a whole lot more besides, and look at all the big transfer stories of the day, it is Jamie O'Hara and Darren Bent with Drive.
Another one or two players in Man United in with a shout at the title. What do you think, Gabby?
No, I think Champions League will take a lot out of that squad of players. I look at right backs, Mazraoui, Dalot, not good enough. Centre backs, they need cover there as well. Shesko, listen, he done okay last season, double figures. He's got to be at it this season. They've got a very good squad of players, Jeff, but if they don't get 2 or 3 top players in certain roles, I don't think they can fight for the title. I think top 4 again and get out of the group stage of the Champions League will be a very good season.
Yeah, I mean, they've not been too busy in the transfer market, to say the least. They've brought in Yuri Tielemans, they've brought in Andre Santos. Ben Foster thinks one of those is the signing of the summer.
I still think Yuri Tielemans is the signing so far.
What a better business that is.
What a bit of business.
Yeah.
Honestly, I genuinely still think I'm watching a load of transfers happen, and Tottenham spending a lot of money, and Arsenal just spent a lot of money. I still think Yuri Tielemans is the signing of the summer so far for 30-odd million quid, whatever it was. He is a ready-made, good-to-go starting 11 player, and I think if you can spend £30 million on a ready-to-go starter, it is worth every single penny.
Yeah. And I agree with him. I think Yuri Tielemans is going to be one of the signings of the summer. But when I look at that midfield, talent is Tielemans and Bruno, Meno and Andre Santos.